Offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. May require accreditation.
Good news, everybody.
We stay on the air with you for an extra 2 hours after every Arizona football and men's basketball game all season long. That's why we are the home of the Wildcats. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We have the Arizona Wildcats covered on game day like no one else, with the biggest pre- and post-game coverage in the Pac-12. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
I thought learning a language would be too much work, but Babbel makes learning fun. J'aime Babbel.
Babbel's lessons only take 10 or 15 minutes, and soon you turn and realize, hey, I'm starting to speak another language. How'd that happen?
Babbel isn't robots talking. You learn words and phrases from real native speakers. I was ready for real-life conversations in just a few weeks. So easy.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
And a great Friday afternoon to you. This is the first Friday in a while. Well, we had the bye week where we do not have any Arizona Wildcat college football to look forward to. The regular season is over. All we need to find out now is Sunday where we're going bowling. As Glenn Howe likes to say, we're going bowling. We'll find out Sunday where that bowling is. We'll also find out Sunday where what 2 teams are going to be coming here to Tucson this year to play in the Arizona Bowl. All the bowls will be announced and the college football playoff on Sunday. Possibly the Arizona Wildcats, depending on what happens. We've got championship weekend begins tonight. We thought maybe we might be in Las Vegas today. Unfortunately, that did not happen. Pac-12 changed the rules last year, did away with the divisions. Arizona would have won the South Division had that still existed this year. It does not. So it's the top 2 teams, and unfortunately, the Wildcats fell into the 3rd position, and it is Oregon and Washington in a couple of hours up in Las Vegas for the Pac-12 championship. The first time in 6 years that this game does not involve the Utah Utes. How about that? I mean, they just quietly kind of took over the Pac-12 championship game. Did the Utah Utes without, I think, very many people realizing that they were creating kind of a dynasty over there. But right now it appears that, and you know, we've talked a lot about Arizona football and where they're going to be positioned heading into the Big 12 next year. And many people believe that, and Glenn Howes even said this, that he believes that the Wildcats are going to be positioned as maybe one of the top 4 teams in the Big 12. But don't forget about Utah. Utah's still a very good, very consistent, very strong program. Yes, the Wildcats did win the game this year, but that is going to be a program still to contend with. Arizona and Utah both are going to be very, very good programs on the football side heading into the Big 12 era of this athletic program. So we'll find out Sunday where the Wildcats are going bowling. Could be San Antonio on December 28th. I believe Las Vegas is December 23rd. So that would be interesting. Both the Wildcat football and men's basketball team both playing in Las Vegas on the same day. a few hours apart.
So
I want to say, if we go back to 2008, I thought that may have happened the last time the Wildcats played in Las Vegas. I want to say, I know obviously in that one year they played on the same day. The dramatic win in the New Mexico Bowl and then the victory over Florida. We talked about that. But I thought maybe in 2008, when the Wildcats were last in the Las Vegas Bowl, that was my first year here covering Arizona, that might have happened that day as well. I can't remember exactly, but I think I remember something along those lines. If not the same day, I thought maybe it was like very close that there was a basketball game.
What you're saying is there's a chance you may not need to lend your Learjet to Mr. Jeffries so that he can make it to a different
I think
city.
he can just drive across town from the where are they playing? Where are they playing that basketball game? Are they playing it at
I'd have to look it up.
the Miller, what's it called?
Right
The
now, I'm looking it up.
Michelob?
The 2008 Las Vegas Bowl was played on December 20th. And now I need to effort to see if the men's basketball team played in Las Vegas on the same day.
There you go. J-Dub is always on it. All right, Friday, we want to talk to you. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get on the program. We've got a lot, and I mean a lot to get to in the next 3 hours. We are going to preview. We'll get a quick preview. We're going to go up to Tempe and get a quick preview of the Conference 4A State Championship game. Canyon del Oro in about 55 minutes will kick off against Yuma Catholic, trying to become a state champion for the first time since 2009. The Canyon del Oro Dorados taking on a very good Yuma Catholic team, and we'll talk to Brittany Boyer up in Tempe about that. Adrian Denny is going to join us. We'll talk some Tucson Roadrunners and Arizona Coyotes hockey. Both teams playing extremely well. How about those Yotes? Beat the Colorado Avalanche last night. That is 3 straight wins against the last 3 Stanley Cup champions. They've taken down the Avalanche. They've taken down the Golden Knights. And they've taken down the Lightning. The last 3 teams to win the NHL Stanley Cup championship. The Arizona Coyotes have beaten those 3 teams in succession this past week. Does that get your blood going for hockey here in the desert?
Well, it gets the young, the roster they've got going because, it just proves that they can hang against those kind of teams, right? And that's what you need at this stage. Building or rebuilding? What are we talking about? What's the terminology we're using for the Coyotes?
I would say rebuilding for sure. Well, building. Well, no, I would probably say building because they haven't done anything.
Right.
We spoke about that yesterday. They haven't been to the postseason since 2012 in a non-COVID year.
They don't have a lot of pieces that they're building around right now. They're trying to find the pieces. Going back to 2008, Arizona defeated BYU in the coldest Las Vegas Bowl in history, 31-21.
I do remember it was cold that day.
And that was at 5 p.m. Pacific time in Sam Boyd Stadium at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
Right.
Earlier that day, Arizona lost to the Running Rebels 79-64 on campus as well. That was Chase Buttinger and Jordan Hill leading the Wildcats that day.
I thought my memory was good there.
Yep.
I thought that happened on the same day. Yeah.
And it says here that the game drew 16,000 plus fans, many of them Arizona fans who had already made the trip up there for the bowl game as well.
Right. So we could have a repeat. 15 years later. I would have now again, and we didn't necessarily ask Dave Hickey this directly. I wasn't really thinking about it at the time, but maybe we should have. Are you lobbying as the university? Are you lobbying for the Las Vegas Bowl at that point, knowing that your basketball team is also going to be playing there on the same day? It would make sense for them to be lobbying. You would want to, split. You want to have as many people up there for the basketball game as possible, and then have people for the football game. I think they would be the same this year in terms of the basketball game is during the day, and the football game is later in the day. Although I don't know the exact start time on the Las Vegas Bowl at this particular moment. But that would be awesome. Let's keep our fingers crossed for Las Vegas. Heck, J-Dub, I might send you up there.
Let's do it. I got family.
You got family in
Stay
Las Vegas?
I got a lot of family up
Well,
there.
that makes it. If you've got a place to stay and I don't have to pay for it, that always makes it easier.
I think currently I have 5 different cousins and an uncle who all own houses up there that I'm sure I could reach out to.
All right. Sounds good to me. All right, we'll see how that all plays out. Also coming up today, Reggie Geary will join us. We'll talk some Arizona basketball with Reg. He was in Palm Springs with the club for the Michigan State game. We'll get you. Yesterday, we told you a little bit about DJs for PJs. We'll talk a little bit more about that today as well. Crystal Soto from 97.5 The Vibe is going to join us as well. Crystal is all over the place. Okay, she's a DJ on one of our fine stations here with Cumulus Media. You will see her tonight at the Roadrunners game, and she might just have on skates because she's an in-house arena host for the Roadrunners, which she also was an in-house arena host for the Sugar Skulls this past summer. You can also see her coming up this week at the Arizona women's basketball game as she is the floor host at McHale Center. That young lady's got a busy schedule.
You won't be able to miss her because she'll be the one with all the energy.
Exactly. Crystal's got the energy. Let me tell you that. So we'll talk to Crystal about all of those things, and in particular, what's happening tonight. Fun night, laugh night tonight coming up at the Tucson Roadrunners game. They're going to have a comedy show. A comedy show afterward. You know, the first thing I learned, my first rule of comedy shows, J-Dub?
Always bring rotten fruit with you when you go.
No. But that would be my second rule.
Okay.
Maybe that wouldn't be my rule.
I
don't like to throw stuff.
That being said, I've never thrown anything at an entertainer. If somebody
anybody
takes the time out of their life to get a skill or something and then they go stand up on a stage, I would never disrespect that process by throwing something at them.
Do not sit in the front row.
Yeah, because then they'll pick you out and then you'll be involved in the show, right?
I went on a date one time when I lived in North Carolina. And my date, we went to a comedy show, and she wanted to sit in the front. And I'm like, no, we don't want to sit in the front because then we'll get, they'll pick us out and they'll start talking to us. And I don't want that. I don't want to be I don't want to be the show.
Yeah. I had a roommate, and they were involved with Laughs Comedy Club here, and they were like a manager. / bartender, and they had a lot of amateur nights, David Kelly, and I could never bring myself to go. You know that German thing, Schadenfreude? It's like when you take, joy out of other people's misery.
Right.
I have the opposite of that. Like, it's hard for me to sit there and watch somebody not do well up on stage at a comedy club, right? It's just like it's a very difficult thing to watch.
So, of course, what happened when we sat in the front row? I mean, it wasn't 5 minutes. Hey, is that Pam over there? Hey, Pam. Wait. Stay there. I'm going to see if I can get the camera to work for Pam. Hey, there she is. Pam, you are on video. Wave to the people. That is Pam, one of our awesome account executives here. Oh, and she just disappeared on us. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Pam was, is she coming in now? Hey, Pam. You want to sit down and talk, too, while you're here? No? Yeah. I mean, come. I discovered your name is David Scott. Yes. My brothers' names are David and Scott. Is that your two? How many brothers? You have 2 brothers? David and Scott. Wow. I just saw it on your bio. There you go. I'm the man with 3 first names. You didn't know that. Exactly. There you go. My name was initially supposed to be Scott David Kelly, but my grandfather won out on it because he was also David. So it became David Scott Kelly.
My brother's Robert Scott.
Ah.
My dad was Robert James. My dad's father was Robert Glenn, and they all go by the middle name.
Wow.
Robert and Scott.
Ah, it's a good way to do it. Good way to do it. You are on the air right now, yes.
They all played sports.
There's a mic on in front of her now.
We were all jocks.
Yeah, there you go. Talk to the people.
She's being shy.
Talk to the people. I'll even raise your camera so people can see you a little bit more there.
Yeah.
There's Pam.
But Cricket's here to talk.
Cricket's here.
We love him.
Cricket always talks. Absolutely.
Yes, I
She
do.
knows how.
We're going to excuse ourselves.
Okay, Pam. Well, thank you for stopping by. Stop by anytime, Pam. We love you.
Lips look good on camera.
They do. Outstanding.
So don't leave the people at home in suspense. You're in the front row at a comedy show, and then what happens?
And then he went right in on us. So, are you two boyfriend and girlfriend?
Yeah.
And it was like our first date.
That's always a risk.
It was like, so
Here's
I
what you
was
do.
like-
When the comedian starts scanning the crowd, you don't make eye contact.
Exactly.
You look down. Don't make eye
Exactly.
contact.
You just kind of like,
yeah.
No, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want you to say anything about me. Do you sit in the front row, Cricket, at the comedy shows?
I would be afraid of being picked on. Just
There
like
you
that.
go.
Yeah.
Do you like comedy? Is that anything
I
like
do.
Yeah?
And I would be a really good sport about it, but they might make me cry.
Oh boy. Yeah, we don't want to cry. So yeah, we
I'm a big baby.
he was like, so he was like, your boyfriend and girlfriend? No. First date. First date. And then he really
even
went
better.
to town. Then
Yeah.
he really went to town. And
Oh,
I was
boy.
like, and she kept staring at me like and I was looking at her like I gave her the eye. I was like, I told you we shouldn't have been sitting in the front row.
Mm-hmm.
She just, what's happening? It's the weekend. Woo! What's happening this weekend in Southern Arizona, Cricket?
Well, did you gentlemen know that you can go ice skating in the desert?
Yes.
We do,
Holiday
actually.
Ice.
Okay,
Your
yes.
name is not Earn Dollars. Sorry.
Oh.
Earn was hanging out in your seat the other day. Yeah. there
We
you go.
do know that because this Sunday, David Kelly, we have an interview
Yes.
with somebody from Parks and Recreation here in
Yes,
Tucson.
we do. We are talking
perfect.
about that. We're all over it here.
You'll talk about Tucson Holiday Ice. It's right in front of the TCC, and it happens through January 7th. They do more sessions on the weekends than they do, obviously, during the weekdays. Yuletide at Old Tucson, Friday through Sundays. It's kind of like the Wild West history of Old Tucson. Maybe it's like Santa on a horse or like in a gunfight. I don't know. There's the Festival of Illumination at Tucson Botanical Gardens, and that happens Tuesdays through Sundays, and the Enchanted Snowfall at La Encantada Thursdays through Saturdays.
Wait, that's up by my house.
That's by your house.
Wait. Now, that's called what now?
Enchanted Snowfall.
Okay, yeah. I think we would send Matt Brode up there when I was at Channel 4. We would send, and like they have fake snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really
He-
nice.
He would go up there and do live shots for that.
So, do the Santas in other states get into gunfights, or is it just the Arizona Santas?
It's just here. It's just Arizona. It's just the Zona
Yeah.
Santas.
The
I
Zona
figured.
Santas.
Yeah. I
the
think so.
Zona, the Santa with the cowboy hat on.
Yes, yeah, and the like cowboy boots.
Oh yeah.
Did you and we've got the street fair coming up next week.
That is true. Yeah, next weekend, Friday, Saturday, and
Yes.
Sunday.
Are you
Yep.
excited about that? Is that something you love to do here?
I would like to take the bus there. You know what I mean? Well, parking
Well, yeah,
is
the
so
young lady we
hard.
talked to, Casey, suggested, you don't want to try to
No.
park anywhere close.
Right, like taking the bus would be great. Especially like you're on the main line on Speedway, walk out to
Yeah.
the bus, boom, and you get dropped off like Rockstar
Do
Parking.
we have
kind of.
a booth there where people can come and get our autographs or anything like that?
The other stations have a Ram Plumbing stage. Oops, sorry, I shouldn't have said their name if they're not a sponsor, but they are
No,
on
they
the
are.
other stations.
They are.
Okay.
Yeah, they are. In fact, we pubbed them up because we did that interview for Sunday as well.
Oh, cool.
Ram Plumbing and Right Way Heating and Cooling are both sponsoring the stages. this
Now,
year.
real quick, the other option is to park a mile away, so that you digest the bacon wrapped turkey leg that you're going to be eating when you're down there on 4th Avenue. So there is an excuse to park a little bit further away, maybe walk a little bit further to your car.
I hope there's
One way to
funnel
do it.
cakes.
Ooh.
Always. There's always
Funnel
funnel
Right,
cakes
there
and kettle
always is,
corn.
and the
Always.
Piggly Wigglies, like the fries.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, truth.
Yeah, I mean, we're natives. How many times have you been to the street fair? I've been to the street fair probably
A lot.
60 times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
I like
It's on.
taking the bus.
There you go.
I'm just saying. It's
Well,
easier.
that sounds like a thing. We might have to all take the bus
For sure.
down to the street fair with Cricket. Getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
And from the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather. Together, reported collisions crashed 22nd Street east of Country Club near Randolph Parkway, Oracle and Calle Concordia, Orange Grove and First Avenue, Ina at I-10 on the overpass, and also reported Valencia at I-19, some slowing on westbound Valencia west of I-19. Mostly clear overnight, 42 our low. Sunny and 63 tomorrow. Partly cloudy, 52 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. With a Chalupa Supreme, beefy 5-layer burrito, crunchy taco, cinnamon twist, and medium drink, Taco Bell's $5 Cravings Box is packed as ever and $5 as ever. Get one at Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact store for price and participation which vary. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
Wildcats Radio is the one and only home of Jim Rome and CBS Sports Radio.
I'm not going to sit here and lie. It's nice. It's good.
Tucson knows the home of the jungle is also your home of the NFL. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Wildcat fans, join head coach Adia Barnes and the Arizona women's basketball team in McHale Center this season. Single game tickets start as low as $17 and are available for purchase now. You won't want to miss the fierce competition coming to Arizona. Tickets are available at ArizonaWildcats.com/WBK. Arizona women's basketball. Let's pack McHale Center.
Nothing slows my little girl down, except the stuffy nose.
Mommy.
That's why I use Sinex Children's Saline from Vicks. Sinex instantly clears mucus in everyday stuffy little noses with a gentle, ultra-fine mist designed for kids. Just Sinex? Breathe. Her stuffy nose is gone for now. And so is she.
Sinex Children's Saline. Sinex, breathe. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
Hey, this is Travis Kelce, NFL tight end and proud member of the Lowe's home team. Lowe's knows when you've got the best price, you've already won. That's why we offer the lowest price guarantee. If you find a better price online or in store, we'll match it. Now you can score on the top brands from the Lowe's home team picks, like Scotts, LG, and DeWalt. So take on your projects with confidence. Lowe's is the exclusive home improvement retail partner of the NFL.
Price match applies. The same item, current price of qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at Lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Here at Alaskan AC, we believe every kid in town should have a toy under the tree this Christmas.
And we know you believe that too. So does the United States Marine Corps.
Let's bring that all together and make a big difference this year.
When you donate a new, unwrapped toy to Toys for Tots, Alaskan AC will match it with another toy.
One toy becomes two.
Or make a donation and we'll match your donation so $1 becomes $2.
You can drop off your toy at our offices or give it to one of our techs working in your home.
Last year, we donated thousands of toys with your help.
Plus over $10,000 to Toys for Tots.
A small donation can make a big difference this Christmas.
Make your donations before December 15th and we'll do the rest.
We'll match every toy you donate.
And match every dollar you donate.
To make Christmas wonderful for every kid in town.
Find out more at AlaskanAC.com.
Tucson, we have something free just for Wildcats fans living in Tucson. You can now catch all the play-by-play action of Wildcats football, men's basketball, and baseball, and no charge on your smart speaker. Ask it to play Wildcats Radio 1290.
3 little words no parent wants to hear.
My tummy hurts.
And it always seems to happen at the worst times. Like in the middle of the morning rush, when you still have homework to check and lunches to pack, and of course, you're already late for work. Luckily, there's Pepto Kids. Pepto Kids chewables provide fast relief for common stomach issues, turning those 3 words into these 3 words.
I feel better.
Bad time for stomach upsets? Good time for Pepto Kids chewables. Fast relief for little tummies. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program today. Lots in store for you. We are going to be giving you a short preview of the state championship game coming up here later this hour. Kickoff scheduled for 4 o'clock up in Tempe at Mountain America Stadium. I've said on this show before that obviously we are an all-sports station, and we talk primarily sports on this show, but I've been straight with you from the start that there will be days when we will deviate from that at times, when important matters of news and life across this country happen. And today is one of those days as the state of Arizona and the United States of America as a whole has lost the first woman to ever sit on the Supreme Court of the United States. One of our own here in the state of Arizona, Sandra Day O'Connor, has died today at the age of 93. Sandra Day O'Connor was appointed to the Supreme Court by President Ronald Reagan. Her confirmation came in 1981 by a tally of 99-0. She faced very little opposition to her confirmation. And what opposition she did face was generally over her record on abortion, which she had earlier served on the Arizona Senate when she was in the Arizona Senate. Grew up on a farm, cattle farm here within the state of Arizona after her family moved here to the west from Vermont. And she was often considered a moderate conservative throughout her time on the bench. She voted in favor of many things that modern day conservatives might not have voted for or might not even vote for now. She's famously upheld Roe v. Wade, which obviously has since been taken down by this current Supreme Court. She famously upheld affirmative action with her vote, which has currently been taken down by this current Supreme Court. And in an interview many years ago with CBS and 60 Minutes, she was asked what she thought the president that offered her the opportunity on the Supreme Court, Ronald Reagan, would think of the way that she voted on some of those issues. Here's what Sandra Day O'Connor had to say.
Some might call moderate and others might even call liberal.
Well, I don't know. I wish I did. He was a remarkable president, and he understood the country well. And I like to think that he would have understood that as well. I don't know.
Do you think you became the justice that he wanted you to be?
I don't know. I hope so.
Where do you place yourself in Ronald Reagan's legacy?
Well, I just see the appointment of a woman to this court as a door opener for women across our land. And I think that's an incredible legacy.
And of course, we've had a number of women that have been appointed to the Supreme Court since then. Obviously, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, one of those. Amy Coney Barrett currently sits on the Supreme Court as well. Sandra Day O'Connor from Arizona opened that door for women to sit on America's highest court, and we mourn her today as she has died at the age of 93. If you want to share memories that you have of Sandra Day O'Connor, and again, I've said this from the start, our phone lines will always be open to people who want to talk about matters as this. You can do so today at 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on our program. We are streaming today, as we always are, on a number of different platforms, video-wise. We are streaming today on YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitch, and Twitter. Wildcats Radio 1290 on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. At Wildcats 1290 is the place to find us on Twitter. You can also listen to this program through Alexa. Just say, Alexa, put on Wildcats Radio 1290, and she will call you up, will call us up right there in your living room. You don't even have to leave your living room. You don't even have to get off your couch. Just tell Alexa from the couch, put on Wildcats Radio 1290, and she will do so. You can also find us on the iHeartRadio app as well as on our website, at Wildcats Radio 1290 and download the app. It's still kind of crap, but it's about to slap, as we've been saying. It's getting better. Worked on it a little bit more. I like the look. I'm starting to like the look of it. I've got the look working. Now we just got to fine tune it a little bit. The app is about to slap. Did you get my notification I sent out this morning, J-Dub?
I'm sure I did. I do have the app installed.
I'm sure I did is not I did.
Well, I generally have a lot of the notifications turned off on my phone. And I've been very busy this morning, as you have. So I'm not sure I've actually opened our app this morning because I was waiting for you to tell the people of Tucson when it slaps. And so when that happens, I'll have it open, 24 hours a day.
There you go. It will slap soon. Still a work in progress.
Slap TBD.
TBD indeed on the slap for our app. All right. Question of the day. Let's get to that here. Now, over the course of the last few days, so obviously Arizona football still has a game to play, but some folks have already started to announce transfers. We talked about Stevie Rocker earlier in the week. Eamon Allen, a linebacker, also has announced that he is going to transfer from the University of Arizona. But there's a couple of interesting transfers that have taken place up the street in Tempe. One of those is tight end Jalen Conyers. It's interesting, actually, both of the young men that Arizona State University took to Las Vegas to represent them for Pac-12 Media Day are transferring from the program. I believe they are both transferring as grad transfers, however. So they'll have 1 year as grad transfers. Jalen Conyers, their outstanding tight end. He's a roommate of Trenton Bourguet. We'll also let you know, in case you missed it today, Trenton Bourguet announced on Twitter that he plans to come back and play his final season at Arizona State University. So Trenton is not going anywhere. His roommate, though, Jalen Conyers, will transfer, as will Jordan Clark, who is the son of the legendary Steelers defensive back Ryan Clark. He has announced he is going to transfer. And we talked about this a little bit earlier this week as it related to Jade Lavelle, who played basketball at Arizona State University and then transferred as a grad transfer to play for 1 season here at the University of Arizona. And at the time Jade did that, I thought to myself, that's a little strange. That's a little strange. Why would you want to transfer to the rival school? I didn't really understand that. But then as I kind of looked a little bit deeper into Jade Lavelle's background, she was only at Arizona State for 1 year. She had transferred to Arizona State for her final undergrad season after spending 3 years at Boise State. So it wasn't like she played at Arizona State for like 3-4 years and then decided to transfer to U of A for her final season. She'd only been at ASU for a year. They changed the coach. She went to play for Charlie Turner Thorne. Charlie Turner Thorne decided to retire, and then she decided to transfer out, and she transferred here to play for Adia Barnes. So that was different. But Jalen Conyers and Jordan Clark are two guys that have pretty much played their entire careers, 3-4 seasons, with the Arizona State Sun Devils. Now they're in the portal. I would take Jalen Conyers and Jordan Clark on this roster in a heartbeat at the University of Arizona. They are not only are they very good football players, but I had a chance to talk to both of these guys in Las Vegas. Very, very good young men. Very impressed with both of them, having a chance to talk to them one-on-one. And even before that, I mean, Jalen Conyers put on a show here last year in the game, the Territorial Cup game number 96. I mean, he at times was unguardable in that game. Very good tight end. You're losing your tight end in Tanner McLaughlin. Obviously, you've got some young guys that are on this roster, but hey, I wouldn't mind a guy like Jalen Conyers on my roster. And Jordan Clark is another stand-up young defensive back that I wouldn't mind having him in the mix on the backside as well. So the question of the day, and I'm going to flip it now. would you welcome back a U of A player who grad transferred to Arizona State? So what I'm saying here is this player put in his 4 years here in Tucson, got his degree, okay, did the work, got his degree, but decided I've got 1 year left. I'm going to go and play up in Phoenix at ASU. We have the term Wildcat for life. Would you take that player back as a Wildcat for life if he decided to grad transfer and play a year at ASU?
Now, does this player going after a grad degree that's not offered at the U of A?
Doesn't well, I mean, maybe not. I
mean, is there
that doesn't really? I don't know that matters now. That used to matter, I think, back in the day, in terms of grad transferring. But I don't know that matters now.
What I mean to say is that if the player leaves Tucson to go play up there for no other reason than they think that team will be better or they like the coaching staff or whatever that is, then that's a different scenario than if the player is graduated from their undergrad and they're going to a grad degree that Tucson doesn't, that the University doesn't offer. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I think the real question is, do you think people can change, right? Because I think it matters where your heart is today. I don't care where it was 3 years ago. I don't care where it is 3 years from now. What matters is, are you out on that field bearing down with your teammates shoulder to shoulder and giving everything you can to help the University of Arizona Wildcats football team win games? I don't care where you came from. Now, many fans out there may see it differently. They may think if they got the stink of Tempe on them, they can't come down here. We don't want those. That's fine. You can have that opinion. Personally, I just care about where your present is. Where's your heart right now? What do you care about today? Where's your passion today? And if that's here in Tucson with that Block A on your helmet, then welcome aboard.
I agree. That's kind of my mindset on it too. What do you think? 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. I'm trying to think of we've had a few grad transfers recently. I'm trying to think of a good name. Well, let's just I'm trying to think of somebody who's maybe kind of in that boat now. For the University of Arizona, somebody who's still got time. Well, let's say, I'd hate to throw out somebody's name and put them in there, but you get what I'm trying to say. Like the name came to my mind, but I don't want to throw that person's name out there and put them in as being the potential person that might do that because I don't know that they would or not. It doesn't matter. But if a U of A player had another year to play, grad transfer, and went to play at ASU, would you take them back into the family at all the reunions in the future? And should we have the guy on the show in 10 years if we're still doing this show in 10 years to talk about his time as a Wildcat? Point.
It's like you got the parents who split and you got the two Thanksgivings, right? So a player who has ties to both schools, do they go to both of those events right. as alumni?
That's true.
Alumni events for an athlete for both schools? That would be weird.
Well, it's like I said. Well, this past weekend when I went to the Cardinals game, like I said, John Fina was up there, and he's working as an ambassador for the club. He only played He played 12 years in the NFL. Played 1 year for Arizona. Played 11 seasons with the Bills. Most people think of John Fina as a Buffalo Bill. I mean, there may be some people that remember him playing for the Cardinals, but John Fina to me is a Buffalo Bill. I see John Fina at the Wildcat basketball games with his Buffalo Bills cap on.
Sure.
He has a podcast where he talks about the Buffalo
Bills,
but he is still thought of enough by the Cardinals that they consider him to be an ambassador for their team. And like I mentioned, he did do some broadcast work for them in retirement, so that changes his involvement with the team was both as a player and post-retirement as well. But
right.
yeah, I mean, yeah, you can be considered both. I would imagine if that would be the case. It's really weird, but it's totally possible in this era of the transfer portal that we're in right now.
When I think of John Fina, I think of the guy whose dad cut my knee open so that I could walk when I was in high school.
Oh, there you go.
Because he's about, I think, 3 or 4 years older than I am, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, his dad and my dad worked together quite a few times. And Dr. Fina, John's dad, did arthroscopic surgery on my knee when I was in high school, played basketball, and couldn't run. After Brian Peabody left, so the year after Brian Peabody left, I had an issue with my right knee, and Dr. Fina was the one who did the surgery on that.
Nice. And how's that knee today?
Oh, it's fine. I mean, cold days, it's a little bit sore on cold days as you get older, but yeah, it's fine. I walk just great. Thanks, Dr. Fina.
There you go. I've never met. I haven't heard a lot about the great career of Dr. Fina. I'll have to ask John about that next time I have conversation with him. All right, we're just blowing past breaks today. It's that kind of Friday. Getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather. Here's Cricket.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions reported at Oracle and Galle Concordia, 22nd Street east of Country Club at Randolph Parkway, Alvernon near Aviation, Orange Grove and First Avenue, and also Valencia and I-19. Some busy traffic westbound Ajo approaching and passing I-19 and westbound Valencia at I-19. 42 our overnight low, mostly clear skies, sunny, 62 tomorrow, partly cloudy, and 53 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Boost Infinite.
Boost Infinite's new wireless technology switches between networks, giving you the best service at a lower price. Switch today. Call 855-55-BOOST, visit boostinfinite.com, or go to amazon.com and search for Boost iPhone 15.
Well, it's that time of year. You dress the kids up for the holiday parties, and they hate it. You dress everybody up for the annual holiday card picture, and, well, everybody hates that. You even dress the turkey, and we're pretty sure he's not happy about that. This year, dress up your yard in time for the holidays. Call Dorado Rockin' Materials, and we promise there will be no complaints. Make your yard beautiful and worry-free with their personal service and convenient delivery times. Dorado Rockin' Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
1290 brings you the passion of football like no one else.
Pittsburgh 12, 3rd and 7 for Mahomes in the gun, flanked by the running back McKinnon. Shotgun snap, they rush 5, pump fake and a line drive into the end zone, over the shoulder catch in the back corner. It is caught for the touchdown. Grabbed by Pringle.
This season, 1290 will bring you almost 100 NFL and college football games. It's not flexing, it's just the truth. Scoreboard 1290, Wildcats Radio 1290.
They say time flies like a sparrow.
And fruit flies like a banana.
We're off to a great start.
If you two don't mind, I'd like to tell our customers about something they won't do in 2024.
I'm not doing a lot of things.
Like changing your socks.
Guys, I'm talking about no payments or interest for a full year on a new system.
Oh, people are going to like that.
You should tell them.
As I was saying, Alaskan AC can install a brand new heating and air system and have no payments or interest for a year.
365 days.
12 months.
You'll get all the comfort, and you won't write a check for a whole year.
Ha! Ron still writes checks.
He's so old, the first picture of him was an oil painting.
You guys having fun?
I never have fun.
I'm having a little fun.
This is big. With approved credit, get a spanking new furnace and AC system. No payments or interest for a year.
Spanking new?
Ron talks old-timey.
Schedule your appointment today, whenever you want, online at alaskanac.com.
Cookie wants to be a professional wrestler.
I'm Cookie Serratos and I'm 11 years old.
She also wants to win all the medals. That's why Cookie and her family make every day count, squeezing out her best with Go-Go Squeeze.
Okay, Cookie, let's break for a Go-Go Squeeze.
Go-Go Squeeze fruit on-the-go pouches are a nutritious snack made from 100% fruit with no sugar added.
Go, Cookie!
Because when you nurture your kids, you squeeze out the best in them. Squeeze out the best with Go-Go Squeeze. Not a low-calorie food. Products range from 11 to 13 grams of sugar and 60 to 70 calories per serving.
I thought learning a language would be too much work, but Babbel makes learning fun. J'aime Babel.
Babbel's lessons only take 10 or 15 minutes, and soon you turn and realize, hey, I'm starting to speak another language. How'd that happen?
Babbel isn't robots talking. You learn words and phrases from real native speakers. I was ready for real-life conversations in just a few weeks. So easy.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. It is high school football championship weekend. They are going to play 4 games in the next 24 hours at Mountain America Stadium. 4 games in one place. I can't imagine. And the last game is the Open Championship. I can't. And I've heard great things about the grounds crew in Tempe at that particular stadium there for ASU. I would imagine it's ASU's grounds crew. I've heard great things about them, but I can't imagine what that field is going to be like by the fourth game.
Yeah.
Especially, and it does not appear right now to be raining there, which is good because it was obviously raining here earlier. I don't know if it rained up there at all today, so I don't know if that field is wet at all, but my goodness, it could be kind of muddy by the time they get to that Open Championship game tomorrow night. So the first game on tap is the 4A final, and that's the game that we are paying the most attention to here. It is going to be Canyon del Oro against Yuma Catholic. That game will kick off at 4 o'clock this afternoon, and then they're actually playing two games tonight. The next game after that will be the 5A championship game, and that'll be a little bit later tonight in Conference 5A. Then 6A and Open tomorrow. The 5A championship game will be Desert Edge. That'll be the Carter twins. They had twin brothers coach that team, and they'll play Higley. Higley is the number 1 seed. My wife actually, one of her colleagues over at Banner, her two sons work or play for Desert Edge. So that's going to be the 5A game. That'll be at 8 o'clock scheduled tonight. And then tomorrow at noon, it'll be the 6A championship game. South Point Catholic failed to qualify for that as they were taken out by Saguaro. So it'll be Saguaro taking on Red Mountain. Red Mountain with the upset of Brophy Prep last week, 36-35. And then the evening game there will be the Open Championship. And the Open Championship will kick off at 5 o'clock. It'll be Peoria Centennial against Liberty. I believe both of those schools, if I'm not mistaken, are from Liberty. Centennial knocked off Basha. Damon Williams, obviously the U of A commit, is the quarterback at Basha. All right, we have got Brittany Boyer on the ground in Mountain America Stadium tonight. She is covering the 4A championship game for us between Canyon del Oro and Yuma Catholic. Brittany, welcome. My first question to you. I just said they're going to play 4 games on that field in the next 24 hours. Did it rain there today, and how's the field looking?
So I heard that Tucson got a whole bunch of buckets of rain today, which Tempe and Phoenix did not get. We got some rain last night, but no, the field looks pretty nice, not too wet. Should be a great game today.
All right, so what's obviously we're just a few minutes away from kickoff there, about 13 minutes. What's the vibe like for the first game of the day?
Oh, you can tell everyone's excited. Fans are still kind of filtering into the stadium. Kind of a bit of a traffic nightmare getting here, so I have a feeling we'll see some people still, continuing to trickle in as the first quarter continues. But, yeah, it's exciting. The music's going. The cheerleaders are doing their thing. All the players are already off the field, though, but you can just tell it's that championship atmosphere in here.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be exciting, obviously, to have all 4 of these games over the next, like I said, over the course of the next 24 hours. Give us a sense of what you think. You cover a lot of those teams up in the valley, of what you think is going to transpire with all 4 of these games over the course of the next day.
So I haven't covered – I did cover one Higley game. I haven't covered any Desert Edge. I think that's going to be a really exciting game between the two of them. I believe it's a number 1 and a number 2 seed, just like this 4A game is going to be. So that's going to be absolutely phenomenal in terms of the competition level that we're going to see. 6A, I think that one is kind of the question mark game, the head scratcher game. You have Red Mountain that's on their Cinderella story right now. And then you have Saguaro, who normally is a perennial powerhouse, who's having a little bit of a down year. I don't think very many people thought that they were going to make it to the state championships. So I think that with that game, it's going to be anyone's fight. And then with the Open Division Championship, we have a rematch between Liberty and Centennial. I don't know if you guys remember that game from earlier in the year, but it was an absolute knockdown, drag-out fight between the two of them, and I think it's going to be the same thing in this championship era that we have going on. And, it's hard to beat a good team once, but to beat them twice, it's even harder. So we'll see if Liberty is able to beat Centennial or if Centennial is able to get the best of them. But I think it will be another great matchup.
You mentioned obviously Saguaro kind of being in a down year. Nothing like being in a down year and still being able to make the state championship game. But you mentioned the Open, and it's an Open that is not going to have a representative called either Chandler or Chandler Hamilton, who are also down. But that's got to be good, though, for high school in the state of Arizona, particularly in the Valley, to have some new names having a chance to compete for these championships than some of the names we've heard that have dominated throughout the past 10 years.
Yeah, it is. It's nice. And what's kind of crazy is that Liberty and Centennial, they're in the same district. They're really not that far away from each other. A lot of the kids that grew up playing ball together, and then they kind of pick what school they're going to go to, end up going to different schools. But, there's some friendships that are going to be on that field that they're going to be enemies for those 4 hours, But, it is. It's great for the Valley. It's great for football. It's just great all around.
So who's the most exciting player you've seen play this season? Doesn't matter the level.
Oh. That's a tough one. I don't know if I have a most exciting player. Oh, you know what I do? Nathan Spivey. I want to give him a shout out at South Point Catholic. I think he was just so under the radar. South Point made it to the semifinals, ended up losing to Saguaro. They beat Saguaro earlier in the year when they had played them for the first time in program history, so that was pretty awesome. But, Nathan Spivey was doing big things on both sides of the ball, just out there balling out. So give a shout-out to him. I think he was probably the most phenomenal player that I watched all year.
Outstanding. I love that fact. Nathan Spivey from one of our programs right here in Southern Arizona. Okay, Brittany's going to be on the ground. She's going to be our eyes up in Tempe today. Brittany, we're going to try to maybe catch up with you again right around halftime, depending on how the timing of that drops, and you can kind of give us an indication of what happened in the first half of the game. How's that sound?
Sounds good to me.
All right, Brittany Boyer, Lit with Brit. Follow her on Twitter at Lit with Brit. 2 T's all around. Only 1 T, though, in width right there. Brittany, we'll talk to you again.
We'll talk to you soon.
All right, it is the Conference 4A state championship game between the Canyon Del Oro Dorados and the Yuma Catholic. What's their nickname? Yuma Catholic. Yuma, I think it's the Irish, isn't it? The Shamrocks. I knew it was something that had to do with Irish. The Shamrocks. I like that.
What was your high school mascot?
We were the Pioneers.
Ah.
Yeah, we were the U-High, University High School, U-High Pioneers, but we had the very similar colors. We were a green and gold as well.
We were a green and gold and cream. Same kind of thing.
Green, gold, and cream.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. And that was Greenfield.
Griffins.
The Griffins.
Yeah.
All
like
right.
the mythical mascot that doesn't exist. Yeah.
The Griffins.
Pretty apt, I think, for college prep schools. The Griffins. Yeah.
Oh, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Coming up in the 5 o'clock. I'm sorry. No, I'm an hour ahead of ourselves. Coming up at the 4 o'clock hour, we'll talk to Adrian Denny. The Tucson Roadrunners are back home off of pretty successful road trip. They went 3-1-1 in their 5 games. They are above 500 at 10-6-1-1 on the season thus far. And we will check in with Adrian and get a sense of what is going on with that outfit, as well as what is happening with the Arizona Coyotes, who we mentioned won again last night. They have now won 3 straight games against 3 straight Stanley Cup championships, beating the Colorado Avalanche last night, beating the Tampa Bay Lightning to start this 5-game homestand, and finishing out their most recent road trip with a win over the Vegas Golden Knights. So they are killing it right now. Are the Arizona Coyotes, and that is good to see because, again, this is a program that outside of the pandemic has not been to a Stanley Cup playoff since 2012. I was at the last playoff game, real playoff game, in Arizona Coyotes history.
Do you wear hats when you go?
2 hockey games?
Yes.
Well, I think I wore a skull cap that night because it was kind of cold.
I meant more like wear a hat that you intend to potentially throw onto the ice at some point.
No. Like a hat that I would be willing to part with.
Right.
Yeah. No.
Intentionally
No.
bringing a hat you don't really care about with you.
To throw on the ice if there's a hat trick.
Right.
Yeah, no. I've never done that. That would be cool though. I've never really thought about it. I don't think I ever thought about doing that at a Roadrunners game.
Which is the one with the octopus or squids or whatever? Is that?
I think that's Detroit.
Yeah,
I think Detroit is the octopus.
And then there's the minor league hockey team that does the teddy bear thing every year for
everybody
Christmas.
Does that. We do that.
Christmas.
That's what Crystal was talking about.
Yeah, I know, but I think I remember when that started. And
the first team to do it.
Yeah, I remember when it started, and they would drop the puck. And then before you knew it, but the game they would actually have to get the game officially underway. And then before you knew it, the entire stadium would just start throwing teddy bears. It's so good.
Well, there was one year here, I think, where they did it. It's the first home goal. And I think they got all the way to the third period. It looked like they might get shut out.
That's rough. No teddy bears for the kids this year. Didn't score any goals.
And then I don't even know. They may have had to have made a deal with the other team. We'll have to ask Adrian about this. I'm pretty sure that happened the second or third year. It got to the third period before the Roadrunners got their first goal.
We're gonna have a talk one of these days about your minor league giveaway gift experiences because there's always just so many crazy things going on in minor league baseball.
Yeah, there are. There are indeed that. The superstars come to mind. These big blow-up looking inflatable characters. They had what was the there was the Harry Carey. One of them was Harry Canary. Was a take on Harry Carey. It was Harry Canary.
Sure,
the superstars. So they were at every ballpark throughout my 3 years in AAA. All right, that's this hour. We'll move on to next hour. It's DK on the Sports Tip. J-Dub, Cricket, the whole gang is here, and I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions reported Bilby and 12th Avenue and Bilby, Speedway and Craycroft and Speedway. To the north, Oracle and Calle Concordia, Orange Grove and 1st Avenue. 22nd Street east of Country Club and also Valencia and I-19 is clearing. We got clear skies, mostly clear skies, 42 overnight, sunny 63 tomorrow, partly cloudy, and 56 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Big O Tires. Come to Big O Tires for the big Black Friday sale now through December 3rd and get up to 140 instant savings off select in-stock Michelin tires at Big O. Just in time for your holiday travel plans. Details at bigotires.com. The team you trust.
We get you so close to the action at McHale, it feels like Wilbur and Wilma are in the car with you. This is the home of Arizona men's basketball. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Get the backyard you've always wanted with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you're ready to dive in, then visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. Schedule now and get 3 months of full service free. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. First Choice Pools, the first and only choice.
It's no contest, Tucson. You're listening to the home of the Arizona Wildcats. That's why 1290 runs this town. This is the one and only home of your Arizona Wildcats.
And you know this, man!
We are Wildcats Radio 1290. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
The Dell Technologies semi-annual sale is on with limited quantity deals on top tech. Save on select PCs powered by the latest 12th gen Intel Core processors like thin and light XPS 13 laptops, Inspiron laptops, and 2-in-1s. Plus, get savings on select accessories, free shipping, and monthly payment options with Dell Preferred Account. Save today by calling 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Cookie wants to be a professional wrestler.
I'm Cookie Serratos, and I'm 11 years old.
She also wants to win all the medals. That's why Cookie and her family make every day count, squeezing out her best with Go-Go Squeeze.
Okay, Cookie, let's break for a Go-Go Squeeze.
Go-Go Squeeze Fruit on the Go pouches are a nutritious snack made from 100% fruit with no sugar added.
Go, Cookie!
Because when you nurture your kids, you squeeze out the best in them. Squeeze out the best with Go-Go Squeeze. Not a low-calorie food. Products range from 11 to 13 grams of sugar and 60 to 70 calories per serving.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 85% water, right?
85% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients. Don't pay for water, pay for clean.
Save $10 when you spend $30 on Tide and Downy. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent. Must buy at least one participating Tide or Dreft detergent item, plus at least one participating Downy and or Bounce scent booster, liquid fabric softener, or dryer sheets. Prepaid card by mail. Visit pglaundryrebate.com for terms and conditions.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SCORE for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SCORE for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SCORE.
Live from the CNWT.
From the what?
Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but three first names, David Scott Kelly.
All right, it is the Conference 4A state championship game in football today at Mountain America Stadium in Tempe. Canyon del Oro, the number 2 seed. The Yuma Catholic Shamrocks, the number 1 seed. Follow at Lit with Brit, Litt with WITHBRITT, at Lit with Brit.
How many T's is that?
On Twitter. Well, totally there. Totally. You're going to be totaled. Totally?
Yep.
Totally. What movie is that from?
I don't know. I really don't know. I know a lot of movie references. That one, I'm not sure I know that one.
That's The Breakfast Club.
Totally.
5 T's in that. At Lit with Brit. Follow her on Twitter or the X or whatever you want to call it this week. And she'll have updates for us from Mountain America Stadium, keeping you up to date on what is happening with your Canyon del Oro Dorados.
I just call it the social media company that DK's mad at the owner of because he keeps changing things and DK can't find his stuff
He
like
keeps
he wants.
trying to hide stuff.
Yeah.
That guy, Elon. Who names their kid Elon?
Someone from South Africa.
Okay, there you go.
So I did research the teddy bear toss. You want to know the details?
Yes.
It was the Kamloops Blazers back in 1993 were the first team to do this up in British Columbia, is where the Kamloops Blazers, and it was their marketing director, Don Larson, who started that way back in the early 90s.
Nice. I wouldn't have known it went back that far. I'd have thought it was something recent.
The record is 29,935 teddy bears.
There or just period?
No, this was with the Calgary Hitmen.
Wow.
And then the Scotiabank Saddle Dome is where that took place on December 3rd, 2018.
The Calgary Hitmen.
Apparently, yeah.
Wow.
Well, minor league. That's what I said. We got to have a conversation one of these days about minor league baseball promotions because I know you have a lot of good stories from those days.
I don't know that I have a lot of good stories. I'm trying to remember. Like I said, there's a few. I mean, I never worked for teams that did anything crazy.
Yeah, you probably worked for good teams.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to be with good teams.
The teams that are 500 or below, they're the ones who have to get real creative with their marketing.
It wasn't like with what do they call that? What's that team? The Savannah Banana Plugs or whatever, Banana Spiels.
There's so many weird names for minor league
traveling,
teams.
the barnstorming baseball team, the Globetrotters of baseball.
Isn't there 7 divisions of baseball? Basically,
not anymore. I mean, yeah, they took them all out. That's why it's. So you heard about the Oakland Bees, right? There's a bunch of ex-baseball players,
right,
that are going to take over, that are creating a team called the Oakland Bees. Because the Oakland A's are leaving to go to Las Vegas, and they're going to play in the Pioneer League, which is now one of the new independent leagues. So there's like a bunch of, because they consolidated minor league baseball a few years ago. They basically got rid of like 40 plus teams from across the country, like Fresno. And then they moved some teams. Like Fresno, back when I was doing games, was a AAA team. Now Fresno's like a Class A team. They're down in the California League now. They have this big, huge stadium, but they're no longer a AAA team anymore.
So they got to get real creative with their promotions,
right? And so the Pioneer League is made up of some of these cities that had teams that got consolidated, and so you've got all these teams out there now that are kind of a lot lower than what they used to be. Now they're larger than what the Tucson Swirls, which is unaffiliated, not affiliated.
Right.
I call those unaffiliated affiliated because they still have a relationship with Major League Baseball, whereas the Pecos League, which is where the Tucson Swirls are, they don't have an affiliation.
They still have Major League's single, double, triple, and then international, right, is like another one, isn't it?
Well, the International League is, and I don't even know if they still call it that. That's AAA.
Right.
It's just called the International League. But I don't even know if they still call it the International League and the Pacific Coast League. I think they did away with those nicknames as well. The Pacific Coast League was obviously the one where Tucson played.
Oh yeah, I remember.
For a number of years.
Stone, when Stone owned that club, his son went to school with us.
Stone, I don't know Stone.
I think Martin was his first name, I believe. The son. I don't remember the father's name, but he moved out here and bought the Toros, I think, or maybe even the Sidewinders. I don't even remember what they were called at the time. But yeah, for a brief period of time in the late 80s, early 90s, we were down there quite a bit.
I just remember my guy, Mike Fader, was running things. And there was a guy named Jay. I forget Jay's last name. He was with the Toros when they were playing independent there back about 12 years ago when I first got to town as well, before they...
Do you know what today is, David Kelly?
Today is
Other than December 1st?
The 1st. I do not know what
Today is the 99th episode of DK on the Sports Tip.
99th. Man, that means, and there won't be one Monday, so we're going to have to wait a while to get to 100.
I'll have to get the celebration music out in like 10 days
from now.
Wait
a while to get to 100, yeah. Okay, so yeah, we will not have any shows next week. We're going to take a week off, recharge our batteries. We will obviously be with you Monday. We found out today we will be with you Monday at 1:30. Because there is going to be a Jetfish press conference on Monday. So we'll have that for you live at 1:30 on Monday. And we will also obviously carry any Tommy Lloyd or Adia Barnes. Adia Barnes, I would imagine, will do her press conference as she normally would on Wednesday next week because they play Thursday. So we'll have that for you probably at 11 a.m. Tommy, we don't ever know because he kind of just goes when he wants to go. So I don't know when Tommy Lloyd's press conference might be on Thursday because they play on Saturday.
It works like this. If you're in a minor league stadium that's really big and your team's not good, you got to have some crazy promotions. And if you're the head coach of the number 2 basketball team in the country in a very established program, You don't have to have those crazy promos. So he gets to dictate that to us, not the other way around, right?
Right. He tells us what he wants to do.
Fair enough.
That's fine. I'm good with that. All right, 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. We're going to talk some hockey with Adrian Denny later this hour. We'll check in with Crystal Soto here before the end of the show. DJs for PJs is happening tomorrow. Get out to the American Eat Company on the south side. All of our folks from 97.5 The Vibe are going to be down there. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. So make sure you get down there and bring some pajamas for the kids so that they can be dressed out and all that good stuff.
I really wanted to go. Last year, their first year, they had it last year, I was also working. So we got the game on tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is basically at the same time as that event.
We always have games.
Yeah, Saturdays.
During the events.
Saturdays in the fall are for sports.
Yes, they are. We mentioned, obviously, the 4A state championship game is happening. CDO is trying to become they're trying to join Sabino to become the first two teams from Tucson to win state championships in the same year since 1976. We mentioned this yesterday. It was CDO. That was one of the times. They're looking for their fourth title, are the Dorados. One of those titles came in 1976. The other team from Tucson to win the title in 1976 was the Tucson School for the Deaf and the Blind. They won a state championship in what was at the time called Class C football. Canyon de Oro was Class AA. It also happened in 1975 when rivals Amphi and Flowing Wells won state championships. How about that? 1975, Amphi and Flowing Wells both won state championships that year. They didn't, though, play each other back then. It's interesting, and we'll have to kind of see when they started playing each other. But Amphi finished the season 10-0. They did not, however, play. I'm sorry, Flowing Wells, I should say, finished the season 10-0. They won. They beat Snowflake, I believe, in that state championship game. But they did not play Amphi that year.
That was prior to the Bates brothers all being there, right?
I would assume. Imagine.
I think that was late 80s. Yeah, I was that was my high school years when Mario and Michael Bates were at Amphi.
Oh yeah, good times.
A lot of speed on that campus.
Holy mackerel!
Yeah,
holy mackerel! Talk about some speed. Yeah, so 1975, Amphi won the Class AAA title. That was with Jerry Looper. So this looks like it even maybe predates Vern Friedley being at Amphi. And then Flowing Wells was coached by Larry Hart, and they won the Class AA title, but they did not play each other that year. Amphi finished 12-1 that season. A lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff with high school football. The final weekend of high school football, and then we'll get full into high school basketball, soccer. Feel sorry for those soccer kids, man. I don't understand why they play high school soccer at this time of the year. It's still cold here. I've been out to, JW, let me tell you, I've been out to some high school soccer games. It was 34 degrees.
Bring
and
a parka.
I feel so bad for those kids on nights like that. Like today, it was like, I don't know if it's still raining out there. It was raining earlier. I've kind of been sequestered in my office, but I haven't really looked outside lately. But, cold and wet kind of days like today, those are the worst days that you want to be out there trying to play some soccer in November, early December.
Yeah, I mean, all I can say to that is better here than in Michigan in this time of year.
There's a reason they play fall soccer up in the White Mountains and northern Arizona and all that, because they got to get out of the way. So, I mean, soccer was a fall sport when I was in high school. It was a fall sport as well. So, I don't know. Here, it's a winter sport, and it can be winter sometimes. It's funny when these kids are playing.
When you're talking about the 4 games being played up in Phoenix today for the state championship, I instantly flashed back to my soccer days playing for the Fort Lowell Cobras, because we were in the state championship every year. I was with them, and that was held at the Pima County Fairgrounds, and that was like 1,000 kids all the same age running around on a big, wide open, flat space. I think they had, those days, like 8 or 10 games going on at the same time. So, yeah, logistics. But that was my memory of being at an event where a bunch of games are all going on at the same time. It was definitely soccer back in the 80s.
So did you enjoy that? Did you enjoy playing soccer?
I was just tall, and I had a strong leg, so they just told me to stand in the back by the goalie and kick the ball really far when I got it. I wasn't really like trying to be creative with I wasn't messy out there, that's for sure.
You were not messy.
No.
Okay. Not too many people are going to be messy, that's for sure.
No. There's only one.
All right, coming up, we are going to talk some hockey with Adrian Denny. Again, the Roadrunners and the Coyotes are playing pretty well to start this 23-24 season. We'll have to check in also. We've kind of neglected the Arizona Wildcats on the hockey side. We'll have to check in with Coach Hogan and his guys when we come back after our 1-week hiatus and see how they are doing as well. DK on the Sports Tip. I'm David Kelly. Cricket's here. She's getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Reported collisions, Bilby and 12th Avenue in Bilby. Also wreck at Craycroft and Speedway. Some slowing at that intersection of Speedway and Craycroft. Also busy travel at Ajo Way in Mission and westbound on Valencia at I-19. Mostly clear, 42 overnight, sunny, and 62 tomorrow, and partly cloudy, 55 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Boost Infinite.
Boost Infinite's new wireless technology switches between networks, giving you the best service at a lower price. Switch today. Call 855-55-BOOST, visit boostinfinite.com, or go to amazon.com and search for Boost iPhone 15.
There is a difference when it comes to sports radio. If you want Wildcats play-by-play and the NFL and the Super Bowl, you turn to 1290.
Come on, it's brilliant.
This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
I can't wait for what's next. Even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, the Pixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist-prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people who make things happen, like me. I'm Sam, founder and CEO of Manifest, a product design company that makes everyday products designed smarter. I get 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more, plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases, which helps us make more smart ideas into a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card. Learn more at chase.com/business premier. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Account subject to credit approval. Restrictions and limitations apply. Cards are issued by JP Morgan Chase Bank. Any member FDIC.
O'Reilly. Does your vehicle have over 75,000 miles? Get maximum high mileage engine protection with Syntec Full Synthetic High Mileage Motor Oil exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, get 5 quarts of Syntec High Mileage and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $34.99. Limit supply. Ask for Syntec High Mileage at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Wildcat fans, join head coach Adia Barnes and the Arizona women's basketball team in McHale Center this season. Season tickets are on sale now. You won't want to miss the fierce competition coming to Arizona. Season tickets are available now at ArizonaWildcats.com/WBK. Arizona women's basketball. Let's pack McHale Center.
Android users, you can tune in to the home of the Wildcats by downloading our new app at the Google Play Store, so you can tune in wherever you are 24 hours a day. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Why does 1290 run this town?
It's simple. 1290 is the only radio station that brings you the Jed Fish and Tommy Lloyd radio shows. Scoreboard 1290.
This is the home of the Wildcats.
This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Today on Hey Culligan's Smart Home, Smarter Water Softener. Here's Kevin.
Hey Culligan, can a smart water softener lift those heavy salt bags for me?
Kevin, it can.
Wait, it can?
Yep, the smart high-efficiency water softener from Culligan can alert your dealer when the salt needs to be replaced, and they'll do it for you, so your water stays soft and you stay away from lifting the bags.
I mean, I could lift them if I wanted.
No judgment here, Kevin. We're happy to do it, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
if these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist and ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, let's talk some hockey. Pleased to be joined by the voice of the Tucson Roadrunners, Adrian Denny, joining us. The Roadrunners back home for a 2-game weekend series with the San Jose Barracuda, coming off a pretty nice road trip in which they won 3 out of the 5 games in which they played. And so far on the season, really for them, as we mentioned, for both the Coyotes and the Roadrunners, things are off to a very good start to this 23-24 season. 10-6-1 so far are the Roadrunners through their first 18 ball games. And Adrian, how is the team kind of feeling about the way that they've played through these first 18 contests?
I think they're pretty happy with it, DK. And the great thing about it is for the Roadrunners is they just keep getting better and better, even as they keep, resetting the roster. We've had almost 35 different players play for us already this year in the first month and a half, because Coyotes have had injuries. We've had some injuries. And so it's, when we first started the first 2-3 weeks of the season, we had 8 healthy guys not dressing, sitting in the stands.
Jeez.
All those guys are now playing, and we've called up depth from the ECHL, and the Roadrunners are continuing to play, and they're playing their best hockey of the year. So the depth and the next man up, while there's currently 3 guys with the Coyotes, a forward line with us hurt, 3 guys injured there, and our captain, Steven Camper, the next man up has really gone into effect for the Roadrunners, and happy about the trip. But DK, Roadrunners on that trip, 3-1-1, 7 of 10 points. We're talking to the guys after the game. Steve Potvin in the locker room after the win on Tuesday in Ontario already said, "All right, guys, this road trip continues in Tucson Friday and Saturday. We need to win those games, or nothing we've done on this trip counts. It doesn't even matter."
Well, we talked about, obviously, the beginning of the year. Dylan Gunther was one of the last guys that got cut from training camp with the Coyotes, and had a chance to talk to John Ferguson about what they were looking for him or from him down here to start this season. And he's obviously been a scoring punch, 6 goals and 10 assists through the first 18 games. What's kind of cool about the way he's been finding his teammates to get them scoring chances early on?
The fun thing is him and the guys he's been playing with, Josh Doan, Nathan Smith, Jan Yannick, maybe the 3 other top prospects on this team. And when you watch them out there together, it's like, this is really good AHL hockey right here. And for Dylan, you just got to hand it to him and hand it to the Coyotes for identifying people that are going to come in and fit, right? Like last year, he got sent back to juniors halfway through the season. This year, hoping to make the camp after he worked so hard in juniors, hoping to make the Coyotes, planning on making the Coyotes, gets assigned to Tucson for the season to begin. And he's done nothing but embrace and continue to work on his craft. And he's just a regular guy in the locker room. You wouldn't know that he's the 9th overall pick 2 years ago and one of the hottest prospects in hockey. He's just a humble, good teammate. And and the talent that he possesses when he's on the ice. He's scored the same goal twice this year, and that's in transition, a rocket slap shot from the left wing circle, and it just is just money. And Josh Doan is a player who's got a knack getting to the net, and him and Nathan Smith have been able to find Josh for some really big goals too.
You mentioned Nathan Smith, one of the American-born players on this roster. Second season here, obviously, in Tucson. How have you liked the way he's kind of brought his game along this season?
He's just another guy that just comes in and works, and he's humble, and he takes the information from the coaches, and just is just one of the guys. And I think that's why the team's been successful, because everybody is just one of the guys out there. And you look at our tough guy line at Travis Bear and Hunter Drew and Curtis Douglas. They all three had goals on the last trip. You look at the guys like Smith, Doan, and Unique. They were all out there for the game-winning goals, the big goals on the trip. But to get everybody contributing, and Nathan Smith's a guy that was acquired out of college by the Coyotes. They had big plans for him 2 years ago. Finished college, traded, got his rights, signed him, and then last summer he got hurt. And so for the better part of last season, he's battling an injury and playing through it, not quite 100%, wanting to be out there, to have that full off season to come out and really, really go at it at 100%. He's taken big advantage of it.
All right, Adrian, you're going to have to define a tough guy line for me.
Yeah, how about 93 combined penalty minutes so far this season?
There you go. That's the definition of it.
You know what we call our tough guys? We call them prickly cactus.
Prickly cactus.
That's Bill Armstrong coined that term at his press conference when he was named GM of the Coyotes. But yeah, you better watch it. You're going to get hit hard, and if you want to fight, either of them will go with you. Any of the three.
Adrian Denny, the voice of the Roadrunners, is joining us. Roadrunners home for a 2-game set this weekend with the San Jose Barracuda. Face-off tonight at 7, face-off tomorrow at 7. We made some hockey fans happy this week, Adrian, giving out some of the tickets that you guys have had a chance to loan us. And we got a guy that's taking his 3 kids to the game tomorrow night. Just a lot of folks having some fun. We got some good promotions coming up, I understand. We got Laugh Night tonight and Anime Night tomorrow. But you talk about what's been happening down here. And how about the Yotes, the last 3 games with 3 straight wins against the last 3 Stanley Cup champions?
I think I saw a note. First time a team has done that since Buffalo in 1995.
Wow.
The Roadrunners were in Vegas on Saturday, and so it was great to have Bill Armstrong and his director of hockey operations and salary cap compliance, David Ludwig, with us at the game watching the guys. And we beat Henderson 3-2, and then they went down to the Strip and got that 2-0 shutout win, and then they came back home, and Mike Carcone, the AHL leading scorer from last year, 2 big goals in the victory over Tampa Bay, and then Mike gave them the lead last night in the third period before they won in overtime. They're in a playoff spot right now. We're in year 3 of the process, if you will, and they made some good progress, and we're seeing it down here with the depth of the Roadrunners and the prospects continuing to develop while the Coyotes are winning games.
Well, you talked about some of the injuries, and obviously, Jan Unique got to go up and get a game. What was his kind of reaction to having that opportunity?
Just being grateful. He told us after the game on Tuesday, he's grateful for the opportunity to go up and be around the NHL guys when it's ever possible, and when he comes back down here, he knows he's going to be with the Roadrunners' top prospects, top players that have the same goals as him, and he's going to get the ice time and the big moments and score some big goals. But he's just another humble guy who's just grateful that you get that call, and he's been called up twice already this year.
And what do we make of this young goalie Connor Ingram? I mean, 12 starts, 9 wins. That's not too shabby.
2 years ago he was in the AHL, and last year Nashville tried to send him to Milwaukee, And like Ivan Prosvetov this year for us, he got claimed by the Coyotes to go in as the backup, and they'd been alternating Karel Vejmelka and Connor Ingram, and Connor's kind of taken that job. He's done a good job of it, but it just goes to show the level of talent that we've got in this league, the amount of players that have to clear waivers to come down, and the amount of guys that get claimed before they can get directly assigned outright to the AHL.
Yeah, obviously, and getting back to the Roadrunners, you've had a number of different guys that have scored goals this season for this team. Did Steve kind of think he would have the kind of squad where he could get scoring from a lot of different places?
I think he did, because you look at we haven't even talked about players like John Leonard and Zach Sanford, who we've played against in the AHL the last several years, who are veteran guys that are now with us and picking up big points in big minutes. And a big part of the offense lately, DK, has been scoring from the defense. Like first round pick in 2019, Victor Soderstrom, and Maxi Zuber, who was drafted in 2022. Those guys are creating offense from defense. So it's the way they can move the puck and join the plays and been a big help, a big part of how the Roadrunners have been scoring goals. They increased their average over a goal a game from October to November, and you saw it in the win-loss record with the 7-3 1-1 November.
And what's kind of stood out to you about Villalta in that?
Gosh, he's just so calm, whether he's getting on an airplane or skating out for morning skate or going out to dinner. It's overtime. He's pretty much the same exact guy no matter what. Just he's not really fazed by much. He slows everything down. He keeps everybody calm and composed, and just a really nice presence back there. And geez, the saves that he's been able to make. 10 of the 18 games this year, Roadrunners goaltending has allowed 2 goals or less through regulation.
Wow. Yeah.
And man, like that, getting that on that consistent of a basis is another thing that has really been impactful for the team. But it's just another guy that the Coyotes went out and identified first as a person that would just come to Tucson, come to the desert, and fit in with the group. And Maddie's come in and he's instantly done that. And that's why, I mean, you look at it, right? You got a goalie like that, the players are going to go out every single night and just bust it for him.
Have you, Adrian Denny joining us? Adrian is the voice of the Tucson Roadrunners. Adrian, have you been to a Coyotes game at the Mullet?
You know what? You won't believe it. I have not. I have not had a date that lined up where I could get out of Tucson, get up there, go to the game, because we're on the road literally 50% of the time, right?
Yeah.
Just the geographic situation and the one sheet of ice in Tucson. We're literally gone 50% of the time. So you add that, and then when we're in town, we're getting ready to go to a junior Roadrunners practice. We're getting ready to take the guys to something at the Boys and Girls Club. So the days get pretty full, and you look at it, by the time you get on the road, it just wouldn't be possible. And there's been so many days where I'm like, all right, this is the day, and all of a sudden it's 4:30 and there's just no chance it's going to happen. So I cannot wait to get up there and catch a game this year.
Yeah, it's funny. We were talking about that earlier this week. I was up there on Sunday, went to the Cardinals football game, and it was me and my wife were walking around Westgate, and she's like, "Isn't that where the hockey team plays?" And I was like, "Yeah, not anymore." So I said, I said, you know what? I guess it's funny because I said they went to the playoffs in the COVID year, but they really haven't been to the playoffs since 2012. We're walking by the building, and I was like, as a matter of fact, we were at the last playoff game they went to, because we went to Game 5.
Kidding.
We went to Game 5 against the Kings. I was like, yeah, we were at the last real playoff game that they went to back in 2012 in that building.
That's right. I remember you talking to Josh Stone about that a month or two ago.
I was like, yeah, it's like they're still trying to find a new place to play, but they don't play in that building anymore.
You know what, though, DK? When I went up to games up there in Glendale, I would leave by 1 o'clock just to get through there. The 202 wasn't quite open yet. And now with the situation in Tempe and the permanent situation obviously being targeted, Phoenix East, right? It's something we can just hit the road at 4:00 and be content, just like you're going to a Diamondbacks game or something.
Oh, yeah. We went up. It's crazy we went to a Cardinals game once, and we did not, I think it was a Thursday night game. We didn't get there till like the second quarter, trying to get through there. Trying to get over
Last game I went to in Glendale was an 8:30 national TV start, and we got there middle of the first period. Left Tucson at a perfectly decent time.
I learned that lesson. I was like, okay, next time we do this, we're leaving really early.
Yeah, you got to make a day of it.
All right. Well, now that football's over, I'm getting out to a game. I'll be out there tomorrow night. So I'll see you out at the arena tomorrow night.
Awesome. Stop by and say hi. Can't wait to see you, Dave.
Absolutely. Adrian Denny, appreciate you always. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, man. Take care.
Voice of the Roadrunners, Adrian Denny. The fellows are home this weekend, tonight at 7 o'clock down at Tucson Arena. As we like to say, tonight in Tucson, it's hockey against the San Jose Barracuda. The Barracuda are 5-8-4-0 on the season. The Roadrunners right now are in 5th place in the Pacific Division. It looks like a pretty stacked division so far. The first 7 teams have won at least 9 of their first 16 games in most instances. Some teams have played 16, some teams have played 19. But Calgary, 13 wins in 18 games. Ontario, 11 wins in 18 games. Abbotsford, 11 wins in 17 games. Henderson, 10 in 19. And the Roadrunners have won 10 in 18 games. So an exciting Pacific Division for sure this season. Get on out and see the guys play tonight at 7 again and tomorrow at 7. Getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather. We'll talk more Roadrunners coming up. Crystal Soto is going to join us. She's the in-house arena announcer for the Roadrunners, one of them this season. She'll tell you some more about what's happening. I hear that, again, Laugh Night is tonight. I'm not sure what that's about. We'll find out from Crystal. Anime Night is tomorrow night. She'll tell us what that's all about. All I know is if there's comedians involved, I'll tell you my number one rule about comedy shows. We talked about this in the first hour. I believe we did. My number one rule, if you weren't with us, I'll give you that when we come back. Getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic. Here's Cricket.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Possibly 2 collisions reported Speedway in Craycroft. Multi-vehicle collision reported Speedway east of Craycroft. Another wreck reported at Speedway in Craycroft. Also clearing Bilby and 12th Avenue. Collision on Catalina Highway at milepost 7. Mostly clear, 42 overnight, sunny, 63 tomorrow, partly cloudy, and 55 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Big O Tires. Come to Big O Tires for the big Black Friday sale now through December 3rd and get up to $140 instant savings off select in-stock Michelin tires at Big O. Just in time for your holiday travel plans. Details at bigotires.com. The team you trust.
Boost Mobile is giving families the holiday gift they really want. When you switch to Boost, you get 4 lines for only $25 per month for each line and 4 free 5G devices to gift, like the Samsung Galaxy A23 or Moto 5G stylus. Only Boost switches between the top networks to give you the best service. So stop by a Boost Mobile store and give the gift of Boost. That's 4 lines for only $25 each. Get it exclusively at your local Boost Mobile store today. Visit boostmobile.com for details. New customers and in-store only. Requires auto pay and ID verification. Other restrictions apply. See participating dealers for details.
Jessica, this is the happiest day of my life. Right up there with the day I bought my RV and insured it with Progressive. Man, I love that thing. There are a million fish in the sea, which I'm reminded of every time I bring my RV to the lake, but I vow to love and cherish you just as much as I cherish campsites with full electric and water hookups. I'm so sorry.
Protect your beloved with an RV policy from Progressive. Take as little as 4 minutes to see what you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger. Because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The moments that matter to Wildcats fans are only on 1290. Whether we win,
Put together a solid one tonight. Arizona 31, Texas El Paso 10. That's your final.
or whether we lose.
For review, the runner's elbow was down with the ball short of the 15-yard line.
1290 is always there by your side to bring you all the raw emotion of the moments that matter to Wildcats fans. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Here at Alaskan AC, we believe every kid in town should have a toy under the tree this Christmas.
And we know you believe that too. So does the United States Marine Corps.
Let's bring that all together and make a big difference this year.
When you donate a new, unwrapped toy to Toys for Tots, Alaskan AC will match it with another toy. One toy becomes two.
Or make a donation and we'll match your donation so $1 becomes $2.
You can drop off your toy at our offices or give it to one of our techs working in your home. Last year, we donated thousands of toys with your help.
Plus over $10,000 to Toys for Tots.
A small donation can make a big difference this Christmas. Make your donations before December 15th and we'll do the rest.
We'll match every toy you donate.
And match every dollar you donate. To make Christmas wonderful for every kid in town.
Find out more at AlaskanAC.com.
Progressive protects more than just your home and car. You could save when you bundle your motorcycles, ATVs, boats, and RVs. Doesn't that sound good? Like the sound of the wind in the trees as your RV sits parked in the forest. Is that the call of the majestic owl? And there's the sound of a tree branch crashing into the roof of your RV. Oof, I guess their nest was in that branch. But you know what does sound good? You're covered with Progressive. So bundle all your vehicles and home in one place and save with the multi-policy discount. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Tucson area attorneys. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. CordellCordell.com.
Today on Hey Culligan's Smart Home, Smarter Water Softener, here's Kevin.
Hey, Culligan, can a smart water softener lift those heavy salt bags for me?
Kevin, it can.
Wait, it can?
Yep, the smart high-efficiency water softener from Culligan can alert your dealer when the salt needs to be replaced, and they'll do it for you, so your water stays soft and you stay away from lifting the bags.
I mean, I could lift them if I wanted.
No judgment here, Kevin. We're happy to do it, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Doug. Hey, listener. Welcome to Limu's Karaoke Lounge, where Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, and the music never stops. Hit it.
There's an emu with a full-time job. His partner's Doug, but Limu's the heartthrob. Grubs and worms, that's what Limu eats. Gotta fuel up to save you money and hit the streets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
DK on the sports tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, the Roadrunners back home for a 2-game set weekend style. San Jose Barracuda, I should say, in town. 7 o'clock face-offs the next 2 nights. Let's talk to a young lady who is right down the hall here at Cumulus Media. Her name is Crystal. You may know her. She is one of our fine DJs on 97.5 The Vibe in the afternoon. Or actually, what time of day are you on, Crystal? You're middays, right? Middays, 10 to 2,
yes.
middays.
Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's when you can catch me.
Outstanding. But she has a lot of other stuff going on. I was talking to Earn Dollars from The Vibe yesterday, and I told Earn, I feel like I'm a slacker because all you guys got all this outside DJ and stuff going on outside the building. And you too, people can see you at the Roadrunners games this year. That's new. You're one of the new in-house arena hosts there. You've been a long-time host on the floor at Arizona women's basketball games. How did the whole Roadrunner thing come together?
You know what? I have to give a big shout out to LinkedIn. LinkedIn is what got me noticed, and then people associated that LinkedIn with, I've seen her at Arizona Women's. I think this is something that she could do. So it was honestly social media, LinkedIn, that got me kind of noticed in that area. But it was a lot of networking too. And I think the one thing people can guarantee when it comes to doing stuff like this for sports teams, you're going to get a lot of energy from me. And that's what we need. I am all about the fan experience. You are paying money to be there. You are paying money to see your team win and have a good time. So to contribute to that, to me, is like, I on the way home, I sit in silence because I'm so energetic during the game. Like, I turn the radio off and I just drive home quietly. But it's because I want fans to have the best experience possible when they attend any sporting event in Tucson.
Did you have to know how to skate to get this particular gig?
Thankfully, no, but I do know how to skate. But honestly, I was like, hey, guys, viral video. I'm just saying, put me on skates. Who knows what could happen?
Crystal from 97.5 The Vibe is our guest. Okay, so let's talk about what's happening at the Roadrunners. We've got Laugh Night tonight and Anime Night tomorrow. What is that all about? What's Laugh Night? Is there going to be comedians in the house tonight?
Yeah, so last night, we hope that fans will stay for the post-game comedy show. It's going to be in the meeting rooms. Drinks will be available.
Ooh.
So, yes, it's an intense game of hockey. Maybe we'll get some good brawls tonight, but then you're going to laugh and feel better when you leave. So, yeah, that's what last night is. It's a night of comedy and hockey.
Now, are all these comedians, I see Chris Quinn, Holly Hilton, Omar Tarango, are these local comedians?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah, it's a mix of them. So there are going to be some from here in the old Pueblo and then around Arizona. It should be a good time. I personally love when you get some of these comedians from around town because the jokes are so relatable, too. Like, they're making fun of the things that we make fun of daily.
There you go. And then Anime Night on Saturday night. I'm not really much into the anime, but what can fans expect on Saturday?
So we're encouraging fans to dress up as their favorite character. So if you have a favorite anime character you want to dress up, please do. We're going to be playing anime music throughout the entire game. And if fans want to get one of those exclusive anime-themed Roadrunner shirts, there are still ticket packages available where you can get those. And I love those exclusive shirts because those are truly like keepsakes. Not a lot of people are going to have them. So if you're a big anime fan, you definitely want to look into that to take that home. So those are the two big games.
All right, and we mentioned, obviously, Crystal, 97.5, The Vibe. You're also going to be out at DJs for PJs early in the day. So you got a long day tomorrow because you're going to be working both day and night.
I do, yeah. I actually have a super busy day tomorrow, which I love, though. The DJs for PJs, super excited about, and I want to plant a seed if I can. On the 16th is our teddy bear toss game with the Roadrunners. That's presented by TEP. It's literally one of the most fun nights of the year.
Yes.
I am a costume lover, so I will be in costume that night. Please show up, bring your teddy bear, and that again is December 16th. It's one of the most fun nights we have on the ice.
Okay, yeah, that's Roadrunners again. We've got DJ PJs. What time are you going to be performing? Can people hear you spinning down there tomorrow?
Yeah, so I will be there starting at 12 o'clock until 2 o'clock, but with the whole Vibe crew there, we'll probably be there the entire day.
And then don't forget, again, you can find her at Arizona Women's Basketball. We've got a game coming up next Thursday, I believe. UC San Diego is here as the ladies are finally back home.
So excited to have them back, and what an exciting season it's been. I mean, so many key players on that team that I am just loving watching. Jada has been amazing. Of course, Helena Puello, one of my favorites. So, yes, always into these sporting events. You can catch me, whether it's on the ice, on the court, hoping to make your experience that much more fun.
And if you missed her over the summer, you were at the Sugar Skulls, too.
I'll be back in the Sugar Skulls when arena football starts up again. I don't know if you've been watching, but they're making some changes. We've got a new head coach, different people on the team. We've got some re-signs, so it's going to be an exciting season.
Yeah, we had the new head coach on about a month ago. Sounds like he's got this thing rolling. We'll see if finally we can get a championship here to Tucson. Hey, Crystal, we appreciate you taking a few minutes to join us. We'll have you on again to once we get closer to the teddy bear toss here in a couple weeks.
That sounds awesome. Thank you guys again. I appreciate it. And to everybody, I will see you guys as we cheer on all of our Tucson sports teams.
Crystal Soto, 97.5 The Vibe. She is everywhere. I feel like I'm slacking, J-Dub. She's got so many jobs happening. Well, I need to go out and get me. I need to go out and get me a side gig.
You don't have as much energy as she does, DK.
I thought I have quite a bit of energy, but not quite that much.
You save your energy for this and other things that you need to have energy for. But
That's
she's
true.
got it, enough to be everywhere all at once. That's what I'm saying.
Be sure you listen to her over at middays, 10 to 2 over at 97.5 The Vibe. Classic hip hop and R&B. Good stuff coming there from Crystal.
DJs for PJs.
Yeah, DJs for PJs.
As we said earlier, I wish I could go this year, but it's such a great event that they've done for the last few years, and really hope as many people out there in Tucson can get out and support that effort. Bring your PJs, and all the DJs will be wearing PJs.
Yes.
DK. So
yeah, Earn Dollar said he had kind of a nice kind of sweaterish kind of Christmas sweaterish kind of thing that he's going to have on.
I can't remember if he said it was Tupac or Biggie or something like that. But yeah, he has a nice old school hip hop reference. And I just think anybody who can get out there and help support that cause by bringing cash. And I'm sure they probably wouldn't mind if you wore your PJs out to the event either.
Again, it's DJ for PJs. It's happening tomorrow at the American Eat Company. If you've never been down to the American Eat Company, you need to get down there. They've got great food. They got a really nice bar there, 1439 South 4th Avenue here in Tucson. The event is happening from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. This is our second year. We're going to be broadcasting live, 97.5 The Vibe, our sister station, inviting you. Donate pajamas, but not just pajamas. You can donate books, money, the Angel Heart Pajama Project. All of this is going to go to them. Our talent lineup, you got D. Wayne is going to be out there from 10, Dwayne Chavez from 10 to noon. Then you heard Crystal say she'll be out there from 12 to 2. And then Ernie Durazo, Earn Dallas, is going to be spinning from 2 to 4. So get on out there. Lots of great stuff is happening. Thanks to all of our folks that are sponsoring. DJ for PJs, Essential Pest Control, iMart Express, Los Barberos Barbershop, and of course Ram Plumbing continuing to do your thing. And if you like J-Dub said, wear your PJs tomorrow out there. If we weren't doing basketball, I'd have my PJs out on there doing my thing, getting my dance on, like I know I can do it. You dance much, J-Dub?
Only when nobody's looking.
Only when nobody's looking. All right. Let me give you an update on what is happening up in Tempe right now. Early on, Conference 4A state championship game, Canyon Del Oro is leading Yuma Catholic by a score of 14-7. 14-7. We've got Brittany Boyer on the ground up there. In fact, Brittany has gotten us. She's shooting some highlights for us. I'll show you a touchdown here if you're watching on one of our streams. We are streaming the show today on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. Let's go to the video, as they say in TV. Let's go to the video and show you Canyon Del Oro's first touchdown here. And who scores their first touchdown, J-Dub? None other than our guy, Caden Luke, just bowling over people.
Can't be stopped.
To get into the end zone. Caden Luke with the touchdown. There is big Kylie Woodard up there leading the way, number 55 offensive tackle. So right now, let me check. I just saw another update from our friend Brittany, who's up there. It is still 14-7. 14-7 is the score in favor of Canyon Del Oro. The Dorados trying to win their first state championship since 2009 and the fourth championship in the history of their program. Chase Locks scored on an 80-yard run for the second touchdown for Canyon Del Oro. So Caden Luke and Chase Locks have touchdowns for CDO. They lead Yuma Catholic in the first half up in Tempe by a score of 14-7. We'll continue to keep you updated on that. If we have an opportunity, we'll check back in with Brittany and get an update on the first half as well. In our final hour, 5 o'clock hour, straight ahead, Reggie Geary's going to join us. We'll talk Arizona basketball. The Wildcats, he was in Palm Springs for the Wildcats' victory over the Michigan State Spartans. We'll talk to Reggie a little bit about that as well as a whole lot more. We may even let you hear a little bit of what Tommy Lloyd had to say yesterday. Kylan Boswell also spoke. We'll get to those guys as well. It's DK on the Sports Tip. We'll also tell you more about what's happening this weekend. Cricket will be back with another What's Up weekend. Cricket, J-Dub, me, you, Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Slowing at Ahoway and Mission, mostly for westbound traffic on Ahoway Mission. Collisions, Mary and Cleveland Way, east of Houghton. Congress, west of I-10. Bilby and 12th Avenue. Catalina Highway, milepost 7. 2 collisions reported at Craycroft and Speedway on Speedway east of Craycroft, also at Speedway and Craycroft. Mostly clear, 42 our low, sunny, 63 tomorrow, partly cloudy, and 55 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need for the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply.
This is Jim Rome with your Rome Report. This just in, and it's a shocking development. A Thursday night football game that was actually watchable. Not only that, but believe it or not, the Dallas Cowboys actually finally beat a winning team. Sort of. Not really, because the Seahawks are not a winning team anymore. Not after they lost and they fell to 6-6. So, Cowboy honk. When everybody demands to know once again who you have beaten, do not be coming up in here and screaming, the Hawks, we beat Seattle. Miss me with that. Just because they're the best team you've beaten does not make that a good win. And it sure does not stamp you as a Super Bowl contender when Seattle is not contending for anything. Stop acting like you just beat Frisco or Philly or the Chiefs or anybody who actually matters. You beat the gum assassin and the Hawks, and had to work really hard to do so. Beat somebody who matters, then come back to me.
O'Reilly. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Holiday Gift Guide is here. If you're struggling with gift ideas, we have several options for gifts under $20, like a digital tire gauge, screwdriver sets, LED work lights, and more. Our professional parts people will help you pick out the perfect gift for that hard-to-buy-for person. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts or shop O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Wendy's Peppermint Frosty and Frosty Cream Cold Brew make the perfect gift for anyone in your life. Especially for you. Yeah, this year you're sitting on your own lap and getting yourself what you want. Finally. And now every day this season, unlock 20% off your total when you get any small, medium, or large Frosty in the Wendy's app. So order something from your own wish list this year.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's with app offer and registration. Applies to menu items only. Taxes and fees excluded.
Everyone is talking about the Cats and where to find them on the radio.
Wildcat Radio, 1290 AM on your dial. Just talking all day long.
Keep your radio locked to 1290 so you don't miss any of the action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Direct from Vegas, the Clairvoyants Holiday Spectacular. A brand new interactive show for the holiday season, featuring mind reading, magic tricks, and illusions, with a special appearance by Mr. Coney Hondini, the world's first mind-reading dog. Saturday, December 23rd, 8 p.m., Diamond Center at Desert Diamond Casino Sahuarita. On sale at Desert Diamond Reward Center or online at etix.com. Experience the Clairvoyants live.
Hey Tucson! On your way to McHale, tune in to the biggest pregame show in the Pac-12, and after the game, listen for the highlights only on the home of Wildcats men's basketball. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We bring you the best coverage in Tucson of Jed Fish and the Arizona Wildcats football all year long. When you hear the Cats on the radio, you're listening to 1290. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be signs that your digestive system isn't working at its best? But taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil supports your daily digestive health using a special plant-based fiber called psyllium. Psyllium works by forming a gel in your digestive system to trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Metamucil's gelling action also helps to promote heart health and slows down sugar absorption to promote healthy blood sugar levels. Start feeling lighter and more energetic by taking Metamucil every day.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
Why does 1290 run this town?
It's simple. 1290 is the only radio station that brings you the Jed Fish and Tommy Lloyd radio shows. Scoreboard 1290.
This is the home of the Wildcats.
This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what?
Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but three first names, David Scott Kelly.
Another name has entered into the transfer portal for the Arizona Wildcats. This was one that I was anticipating would happen. Isaiah Taylor, the son of NFL Hall of Famer Jason Taylor, has announced that he will be seeking the next chapter of his football life somewhere else with 2 years of eligibility left. Isaiah Taylor will enter the transfer portal. That one is not a surprise to me either. Genesis Smith, a talented young freshman, came in, looked great in training camp. They kind of split the reps early on in terms of split the plays through the first couple of games. And then Genesis kind of became that main backup there, and Isaiah Taylor slid down the depth chart. And it was clear that they were going with Isaiah. They were going with Genesis Smith in that backup safety position, a deep safety position moving forward. And so Isaiah Taylor will leave. So it was nice. I actually, it was last year during the Territorial Cup game, the one here, saw Jason Taylor down on the sideline. And nothing wrong with having green jacket dad, or gold jacket dad.
Well, if you win the Masters and you want to send your kid to play football here, you can do that too.
Exactly. Nothing wrong with having some gold jacket dads around the program. But Isaiah Taylor is moving on, which leads us back to our question of the day, and we'll get some results in on this. In talking about transfers, a couple of guys from the Arizona State University. I don't actually think I put this question up. I may not have actually put it up today. I'm wondering, where are my results? I think I wrote it, but I don't know that I actually hit send.
Let's pretend like you are reading results. What are the results, DK?
So I will have to go back into my office. It's up on my other computer. I never actually hit send on it. I thought I did, but apparently
I could tell you the answer is 83% say no. Stay away. We don't want you back here.
Would you take so the question of the day is, but you can't vote on it yet, but I'll put it up and I'll extend the time and you can vote on it throughout the weekend. Was if you had a Wildcat who graduated. So we're talking about a football player. Could be football player, basketball player, whatever. Could be any player. But a guy who finished guy or girl, athlete, finished their career in terms of graduating here at the University of Arizona, but took the grad year, which you can do. You can take that grad year and play one more somewhere else, and played that year at Arizona State. Would you be okay with that? Would you take them back into the family? 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. We'll take calls on that since I haven't actually opened up the voting on that yet, but I'll make sure that I do that here in the next break. We've got another hour with you. I want to go back up to Phoenix, here to Tempe, to Mountain America Stadium. If you're watching on one of our many video streams, get on over right now to YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitch, or Twitter, because we are going back up to Tempe right now. The score at the time was 14-7 CDO, and guess who's coming at you again? Caden Luke.
Can't be stopped.
For the touchdown. Caden Luke with his second touchdown of the game, and it is now 21-7. Do we not have audio on that, J-Dub? There we go. Yeah, give me some crowd. Look at that crowd there. One more time with the crowd. Look at that. Can't go low. Can't go low on my man, Caden Luke. Touchdown.
What's he, like 250?
21-7 is now the score. Caden Luke has scored twice. Chase Laux has scored a touchdown. 21-7. Canyon Del Oro is leading Yuma Catholic in the Conference 4A state championship game. CDO trying to win their fourth state championship in school history. Their second under Dustin Peace, who joined us yesterday. Dustin won in 2009 when they knocked off Sabino 40-0 in an all-Tucson final. So we'll keep an eye on that. Hopefully, maybe if halftime comes around before we get in or out of our interview with Reggie Geary coming up a little bit later, we'll get a chance to get back out there to Brittany Boyer, who's covering that game and providing those awesome highlights for us up in Tempe. Suns are going to play tonight back home against the Denver Nuggets. This is always an exciting series of games because the Nuggets are the team that have kind of basically stomped on the Suns' neck the last 2 years in the postseason. But unfortunately, there's not going to be any Devin Booker tonight. We had mentioned this yesterday that we weren't sure if he was going to play due to the ankle situation that transpired in the loss the other night at Toronto. Devin Booker has already been ruled out for this ball game, and it does not appear that Aaron Gordon is going to play either in this ball game tonight. Aaron Gordon, the Arizona Wildcat, is also dealing with an ailment. He's got a heel situation, and do not think that Aaron Gordon is going to play either. So it's an 8 o'clock tip up at the Footprint Center. The Nuggets are 13-6. They are second right now in the Western Conference. The Suns are 11-7. The Suns are fifth right now in the Western Conference.
Do you know who's number one in the Western Conference?
Off the top of my head, that's a very good question, J-Dub.
You would not expect this team to be there.
Let me don't tell me. Wow. I know it's not the Warriors. I know it's not the Lakers. I don't think it's Sacramento.
Nope.
Oh, wow. Who is, I don't know. Who's number one in the West right now?
Number one in the West right now is the Timberwolves. And let me tell you why that's interesting, because here's a fun stat I read today.
Okay.
In 34 years as a franchise, the Minnesota Timberwolves have spent 10 total days in the number one spot in the Western Conference.
34 years, 10 days.
10 total days atop the conference. Now, that's a lot of Kobe years, a lot of Steph years. It's a very good Western Conference. This is the 10th day, DK, that they've been in that spot this year. So in 34 years of existence, 10 total days. Now they've pumped that to 20 because they've been in the first place position for 10 total days. They're playing really, really good defense. I think Anthony Edwards is poised to be potentially the best player in the NBA a couple of years from now, but we'll see. Also in the news today, Luka Doncic and his fiance, I believe, they brought their first kid into the world today. So Luka is now a dad. Dad strength Luka is coming, guys. Watch out.
Congratulations to Luka Doncic. And who was it? It was the Suns. One of the Suns had a kid, and just like barely got to the hospital this past week. I saw that yesterday. I don't remember off the top of my head who it was though. But yeah, everybody's having babies right now.
Speaking of NBA players with babies, other news came out. Did you hear this?
Oh boy. I hope it's not bad news.
Mr. LeBron James's son,
yes,
Bronny, who plays at your alma mater, he had a heart issue over the summer. He was cleared to play, to practice. And LeBron said today or late last night, he said, if the USC debut of his oldest son coincides with an NBA game for the Lakers, he will skip the NBA game for the Lakers and go and see Bronny play his first game in a Trojan uniform.
Absolutely. You cannot miss that. You cannot miss that whatsoever. All right, let's go back up to Phoenix. We got more scoring. More scoring coming out of the Conference 4A state championship game between Canyon Del Oro and Yuma Catholic. CDO on defense. That's a touchdown for Yuma Catholic. So Yuma Catholic scores, and they are now 21-14 in favor of CDO. It is halftime right there, right now. It has just gone to the half. So 21-14 is the score. Let's see if we can, JW, you want to see if we can maybe try to reach out to Britt here real quick before we get into the break? And
we got 2 minutes.
Yeah, before we get into the break and get Reggie Geary's going to be joining us a little bit later. So we'll see if we can chat with her at halftime here and get a quick update on what has been a pretty high-scoring first half. 5 touchdowns in the first half, 2 by Caden Luke for CDO. And the Dorados have a 1-touchdown lead as we go into halftime at the Conference 4A state championship game. Don't forget, huge day of basketball tomorrow here on Wildcats Radio 1290. We are going to be on the air starting at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. for the Meridian Wealth Management pregame show, tip-off show tomorrow. Arizona versus Colgate on the men's basketball side. That game will start at 1 o'clock at McHale Center. We'll be back with you after that game with the Meridian Wealth Management postgame show from 4 to about 5:45. And then we will hand it over to Derek Palmer. And Derek Palmer, for the women's game over in Las Vegas, they'll take on the Rebels. He'll take you from 5:45 all the way up until probably around, I would say, 8:30 and 9 o'clock or somewhere in that area. So essentially, we've got 12 hours of basketball for you tomorrow here on Wildcats Radio 1290 between the Arizona men and the Arizona women. It is going to be exciting.
Also, Kansas is playing Connecticut tonight. That's the last 2 national champions playing tonight. Really good game.
Wow. Okay.
I did find our correspondent up in Phoenix.
All right, let's talk to Brittany real quick. Halftime up in Tempe. Brittany, a high-scoring first half.
It's been an exciting first half. Holy moly, Caden Luke is absolutely on fire. He is dominating everybody out here on this field.
2 touchdowns for Caden on the ground, 21-14. What do you get in a sense? It looks like how did Chase Lauk scored on an 80-yard run? Is that how that second touchdown happened?
Yes. So opening up the second half, they just handed the ball off, and he took it all the way. They were at the 20-yard line. It didn't seem like it was going to be that big of a play. Kind of was transitioning down the field, and in the process of trying to move and walk down the field, he just took off running. So I missed that touchdown highlight, but yeah, it was a nice 80-yard touchdown for Canyon Del Oro.
What do you get a sense? Do you get a sense, obviously, that, it sounds like CDO is primarily keeping it on the ground. Have they thrown much at all in the first half?
They did throw a little bit. One of their passes got picked off, but they got lucky because there was a pass interference call. Then there was a late flag. I didn't know if they were going to get it the right call, but pass interference was called, so the interception ended up getting called back and was not actually an interception. But I don't know. I'm getting the sense that they're going to keep running the ball, keep doing their thing. Caden Luke is just really big comparatively to a lot of the defenders at Yuma Catholic. And, I think he's going to continue to manhandle them here in the second half.
Any dignitaries of note that you've seen at the game so far that we'd want to know about?
As in coaches that are here?
Exactly. Coaches, yeah.
Well, we got the ASU staff that's here. Ooh. NAU is here. You got Chuck Cecil up here from U of A. Some other smaller colleges. I didn't really look super closely at who it was, but the big three are here.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this question, Brittany, because you are an ASU grad, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so
2 times.
2 times. Whoa.
Undergrad and master.
Multiple degrees going on. See, I didn't know we were dealing with smart people today. Way smarter than us, that's for sure. So you're an ASU grad. Two guys that I really like entered the transfer portal in Jalen Conyers and Jordan Clark. As an ASU grad, and here's how I'll set this up. They're both going to be grad transfers. So that means that they put their time in, they got their degrees. Would you be okay with Sun Devils who graduated from the school, did their work, got their degrees? Would you be okay with them taking their grad transfer year and playing at the U of A as an ASU grad?
I mean, I personally have no issue with wherever anyone wants to play. I think it comes down to, what their personal feelings are. If they can put aside their differences and say, hey, yes, I do want to play here. It doesn't matter that they were our rivals before. I can switch helmets and switch uniforms, and it's all good. Some people can't do that. The passion is just too deep. It's too hard for them to be able to take a step back and just kind of look at what's going to be best for them in the long run, or what they feel like might be best for them in the long run. So we'll see. I don't know where they're looking to end up, but I wouldn't be upset if they did it. But that doesn't mean that other Sun Devils wouldn't be upset. I'm sure there'd be a fair share of them that would be real worked up about that. But hey, it's what's best for the kids, and I think that a lot of people lose sight of that in the long run.
You're absolutely right, Brittany. You're absolutely right. All right, we've been running your some of your highlights on our video stream. Good work out there in the first half. We'll look forward to more in the second half.
All right, sounds good.
Brittany Boyer up at Mountain America Stadium covering the Conference 4A state championship game for us. Canyon Del Oro leading Yuma Catholic 21-14 at the half. We're going to talk some Arizona basketball with Reggie Geary straight ahead. But first, as always, cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Prince Road near Stone on Prince to the east of Stone Avenue reported a crash at Alvernon and 22nd. 22nd Street and Alvernon Way with some westbound slowing. Congress west of I-10 reported. Also a couple of collisions reported in the area of Speedway and Craycroft and Speedway. And for our weather overnight, mostly clear, 42, sunny, 63 tomorrow, mostly cloudy, 54 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need for the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
What makes 1290 different than any other radio station in Tucson? 1290 is the home of the Arizona Wildcats, the NFL, and the Super Bowl. Winner! This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
They say time flies like a sparrow.
And fruit flies like a banana.
We're off to a great start.
If you two don't mind, I'd like to tell our customers about something they won't do in 2024.
I'm not doing a lot of things.
Like changing your socks.
Guys, I'm talking about no payments or interest for a full year on a new system.
Oh, people are going to like that.
You should tell them.
As I was saying, Alaskan AC can install a brand new heating and air system and have no payments or interest for a year.
365 days.
12 months.
You'll get all the comfort, and you won't write a check for a whole year.
Ha! Ron still writes checks.
He's so old, the first picture of him was an oil painting.
You guys having fun?
I never have fun.
I'm having a little fun.
This is big. With approved credit, get a spanking new furnace and AC system. No payments or interest for a year.
Spanking new?
Ron talks old-timey.
Schedule your appointment today, whenever you want, online at alaskanac.com.
I can't wait for what's next. Even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, the Pixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist-prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
For the real story behind some of wrestling's biggest moments, it's Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard and Conrad Thompson, too.
1995, when WCW announces they're going to be live and head-to-head with Monday Night Raw, feels like this would have been something Vince would have kind of laughed off.
No, we did not like them moving to Monday nights. There were a lot of hotels. They all carried CNN, TBS, and TNT. Vince was convinced that Ted Turner had deviously done this deal to get in the hotels and keep us out.
Something to Wrestle, wherever you listen.
Hi, it's Floyd, the family man with the family plan. Outdated HVAC systems will drive up your electric bill, drain your wallet, and peace of mind. Save now at Goodfellas with no payments or interest till 2024. Get a 30% federal tax credit, up to $2,000 off qualifying heat pumps. Trust Goodfellas. We're locally owned with thousands of 5-star reviews. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. Visit us at goodfellasac.com to schedule a no-cost estimate.
You know how we Wildcats love our games, and there's no place better, closer, or safer to game than Desert Diamond Casinos. Filled with hundreds of the newest, loosest slots, dozens of your favorite table games, and superior food and beverage options. Desert Diamond is the #1 destination for your free time fun festivities. Bear down for the best time in Tucson. Go to Desert Diamond Casinos. Go Cats!
Wildcats Radio 1290 is everywhere. Wildcats fans can listen to us everywhere on our all-new app. Now available from the Google Play Store and the App Store for iPhone users. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Cookie wants to be a professional wrestler.
I'm Cookie Serratos and I'm 11 years old.
She also wants to win all the medals. That's why Cookie and her family make every day count, squeezing out her best with Go-Go Squeeze.
Okay, Cookie, let's break for a Go-Go Squeeze.
Go-Go Squeeze Fruit on the Go pouches are a nutritious snack made from 100% fruit with no sugar added.
Go, Cookie!
Because when you nurture your kids, you squeeze out the best in them. Squeeze out the best with Go-Go Squeeze. Not a low-calorie food. Products range from 11 to 13 grams of sugar and 60 to 70 calories per serving.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290. It's the 5 o'clock hour, and it's time for your Arizona Insiders.
Oh, sweet!
Each weekday, Wildcats Radio 1290 brings you all the latest news and opinions of U of A basketball. So bear down, Tucson, and let's talk Arizona basketball. Our Arizona Insiders are brought to you by Coors Light, official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics. There's nothing like game day in Arizona.
All right, let's talk some Arizona basketball with our man, Reggie Geary. Reggie was in Palm Springs with the team over the weekend, Thanksgiving weekend, for a little hoops. And, Reggie, that was a pretty fun game to call, I would imagine.
Yeah, David, first of all, thanks for having me on. It was a fantastic game. If you're a college basketball fan, it had everything you wanted. Big-time programs. Great head coaches, matchups, it was everything. And for it to happen on Thanksgiving Day and for the arena to be, about 50-50, Michigan State and Arizona fans just made for a great environment and a great win for the Cats.
When you look at that game, obviously the Wildcats got out to a huge lead at 15, and then, Michigan State kind of started crawling back, and then Arizona was able to kind of close it out defensively at the end. What did you think was the key down the stretch for Arizona to be able to kind of overcome that deficit. They were at 3, and Jaden hits the big shot to put them back in the lead, and then the defense kind of took over from there.
Yeah, I think it was definitely a tale of two halves. Even when we were up 15, I wasn't feeling great about it. Just knowing how Tom Izzo teams are. If you know anything about him, his teams are never going to quit, and they did it. And they kind of found a way there in the second half to get back in the game and even take the lead. And so it was really interesting to see because we wanted to see how Arizona was going to handle adversity. And as to be expected, it was collectively. There was a number of different individuals making plays on both ends of the floor. They showed some real, mental fortitude there and getting some stops. And, Keyshawn Johnson was big down the stretch. I know Jaden has a big 15-footer there. And obviously Caleb Love was spectacular. He really, it was nice to see that he, even with Boswell not having the game that we anticipate him usually having on a stage like that, it was great to see Caleb still kind of step up offensively, knock down a big 3. He had a drive late in the game, even though he missed it. Shaw was able to put it back, and then he comes up with the steal. So just that mental toughness was what we were looking for, and it was great to see early in the season.
It's interesting. Caleb Love, I've kind of been saying just through some of these games, when he misses. He misses some of those long shots, but he can also, it seems like he makes that long jumper at the right time. So he's kind of a clutch shooter. So it's going to be interesting to see how that part of it, that was kind of one of the things we talked about. How was he going to be able to shoot and what was his percentage going to be? It's going to be interesting to see if he can make more of those jump shots. I love it when he's attacking and when he's driving. I think this offense is better when it's aggressive, Caleb, versus when it's kind of pull up and take a long jumper style, Caleb.
Yeah, I think, and he's shown that. He's shown that ability to kind of, use his shoulders and get to the rim for those high percentage looks. But you also have to know going into the game that, hey, he's going to take, 1, 2, or 3 shots that you're probably going to be scratching your head, but you got to be okay with. And so, and for that reason, he might not shoot a great percentage, but at the same time, he's an individual. You want the ball in his hands, late in the game. He's going to have those nights where it gets hot. But, there's going to be some nights where, he just doesn't shoot well. What I'm so excited about Caleb is defensively, he's really bought in. He's a good defender. He's not a liability. He's actually a plus for the team. And then the 4.7 assists shows that will be unselfish, to be a distributor, and so he's still, even though we think they're older than they are, he's still figuring out his game, figuring out how to be effective in this new Arizona uniform.
It's one of the things that kind of stood out to me in the game, Reggie, was, Michigan State was able to get some buckets on some straight line drives when Umar was in the ball game. And beating a guard, whoever the guard was, and it wasn't necessarily one player in particular. It was Love a couple times, it was Bradley a couple times, it was Keyshawn, and then I thought maybe, and I want to get your opinion on this. At times, I liked the defense that Bala was playing. He was playing kind of straight up, didn't want to draw the foul, but then you look at the tail end of the game. Same thing happened with Kashad, and Kashad was more aggressive to get the block and negate the basket, whereas, Bala was maybe a little bit more conservative defensively and allowed some baskets to happen. Do you think that Umar needs to maybe be a little bit more aggressive sometimes defensively and go for a block when he has an opportunity to get one?
Yeah, whether we're talking about Bala or Mo Crevis, those backline guys, when the guards are being beat off the dribble, you want them getting over there hopefully early, walling up, and if there's opportunity to be aggressive in terms of challenging shots, then you want Bala doing that. I thought, going back to the Michigan State game, which was telling, and more so what Keyshawn at that point was the 5-man. And so, Coach Lloyd had recognized that Tom Izzo was going to go small, trying to pick up the tempo, try to get himself back in the game. And by getting Keshad back out there, it allows him to play the 5 and be a little more athletic and be a little more, versatile on the perimeter. And so when there's opportunity for Ball to be aggressive against maybe a bigger lineup, or when the game is not so fast, then yes, be aggressive, be that shot blocker. But it's really nice to know if you're an Arizona fan that if teams go small, or if Arizona needs to adjust, they can play small with, Keshad at the 5 and Pella Larson at the 4. So really good versatility there for the Cats.
Reg, you were one of the best defenders, speaking of defense, I ever saw in an Arizona uniform. I want to pick your brain really quick about the opponent coming up tomorrow. So Colgate, 4 consecutive NCAA tournaments, They've got a couple of fifth-year seniors leading the way. They run a bit of a high post triangle, and about 43% of their shots come from outside the arc. So really, they're trying to get that ball into the high post and then look for shooters once the defense collapses. Now, from an X's and O's standpoint as a defender, what philosophy outside of running at shooters and closing out? We know all of that. But how do you prevent those guys from getting good looks? This is a quality team coming in. They've been running that system for a long time. That high post triangle offense looking to get the ball to shooters. What's the philosophy in trying to slow that down?
Yeah, I think there's probably a number of ways you can go about it. I think, first of all, you got to identify, and I think Arizona did a really good job with this Michigan State game. It's got scouting report defense. So if they want to kind of play that high post type action where that center is now a facilitator, where he's kind of looking to see if the defense collapses. Why, as a defender now, to figure out, all right, well, if my guy's a 40 or plus 3-point shooter, I'm not going to help as much. If my guy is lower than that, then I can maybe sink it to a lane and help out a little bit more. Or once again, we could all just stay at home and see if these post guys can just beat us one-on-one. So I think it really comes to scouting report defense, knowing who does what and does what well, and just taking those things away.
KYP.
KYP, know your personnel.
Reggie Gary joining us, U of A guard, analyst on the radio network, and now as well as an administrator within the athletic department on the donor side for the University of Arizona. And Reggie, when you look at a game like this, I mean, it's you got some really nice games on the horizon. But these are dangerous teams. When you talk about these teams from the Patriot League or the Ivy League, I mean, a lot of older guys, fifth-year guys. I mean, these are the type of teams that are generally really well coached and can sneak up on an Arizona. You don't want to be looking ahead to what's going on with Wisconsin and Purdue and some of these other high-profile games that you've got coming up, because Colgate's the kind of team that can sneak up and knock you off if you're not paying attention.
No, they are, and as you mentioned, they're well coached. They're experienced. They've been, leading the Patriot League for the last few years now. So this is a confident team that feels they can win. They lost to Syracuse early in the year by 4 points. They beat a decent Weber State team, and they lost to a Harvard team that's actually pretty good. So this is an experienced team. They know. What they want to accomplish on the floor, it's going to be up to Arizona to take them out of that. And I think just because of our depth, athleticism, what we can do defensively, we can hopefully control the pace and play at a pace which they won't be able to match.
As a guy that obviously J-Dub was saying, one of the best defenders, if not the best defender in school history, what'd you think of KJ Lewis? He commits the turnover, throws the ball away, and then immediately retreats on defense and gets one of the best blocks you'll ever see.
Yeah, I mean, KJ is just a tremendous freshman. His contribution, we coming into it, we didn't really know, or we didn't know how much minutes he was going to get. And they were talking about offensively, he had a long way to go. But from everything I've seen defensively, he is as good as any freshman we had here. In terms of athleticism, that body, his ability, especially on the basketball, to really just create havoc, has been excellent. His help defense and team defensive areas that he's good at, but he'll get better at. But that play just demonstrated, what all great defenders have, that tough-mindedness, that, hey, I made a mistake, but guess what? I'm going to fly back and get this big time block, which he did. And it's been great to see. He's got a really bright future ahead of him. And defensively, with him and Caleb and Boswell and Keshad and Pella and all those guys, man, this which makes the team so dangerous, because offensively, we know they can put a big number on you.
Tommy has said a kid like that plays with that type of effort on the defensive end can make up for a lot of mistakes. Is there a guy that you can compare him to from the past that fans would say, like, who is that effort defensive guy, maybe of a far gone era that we would know?
Oh, I'm going to say me, but
other than you, of course.
Other than me, no. I mean, there's a lot of guys I probably could pick. Chris Rogers, a lot of people don't remember him. He was a tremendous on-ball defender back in the day, but he just, Michael Dickerson actually a little bit reminded me a little bit in terms of that. When Michael Dickerson first came to university, he was so physically mature. I mean, I remember he walked in the weight room and he was already benching, he was 235 on the first day 10 times, and he just did a lot of freakish things. Well, I think KJ Lewis physically is the same way, where he's already jumping out the gym. He already looks like he's 22 years old, and he has that motor. So, I always tell young guys, you want to get on the floor, look at guys like KJ Lewis, that affect the games in other ways besides just shooting the basketball.
The best comp, DK, is definitely Reggie Geary. I mean, I watched Reggie Geary as a freshman here at the U of A, and as far as the length and size and just getting after guys on ball defense, yeah, KJ reminds me of Reggie Geary if I had to pick a guy.
All right. That sounds like a good thing. Reggie, what are you going to be on most of these road games coming up? Which games will you be on?
So I will be doing the Purdue game, which I'm really looking forward to. Purdue, as everybody knows, is number one in the nation. It could be a 1-2 matchup. They have Zach Edey. They have a great sophomore backcourt and Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer. And they are a tough-minded, confident, very good team who have some really good quality wins on the season. So I'm super excited about that game. The other two, FAU and a few others, I don't believe I'm going to have those assignments. I'll probably be and then the rest of the Pac-12. But if I get one of those, I'll be just excited to do that as well.
All right, Reggie. Hey, we appreciate you always. We'll talk to you again as this thing keeps rolling along.
J-Dub, Dave, always a pleasure, man. Thanks for having me.
Thanks to Coors Light for bringing you today's Arizona Insiders on Wildcats Radio 1290. Coors Light, official corporate sponsors of Arizona Athletics. There's nothing like game day in Arizona.
Our thanks to Reggie Geary, joined back in studio once again by Cricket for one more check of what is happening in Tucson. What's up this weekend, Cricket?
So festive Fridays through this month at Trail Dust Town. They're going to have like a themed, like a holiday-themed stunt show. Santa maybe falling off a roof. I don't know.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's a themed stunt show at Trail Dust Town.
Oh, okay. I missed the stunt part of that.
Oh, okay, gotcha. And also there'll be like snowfall and adult beverages and some rides for the kids. The Oro Valley Festival of the Arts and the tree lighting tomorrow and Sunday. Tomorrow, the Marana tree lighting ceremony, holiday lights at Tohono Chul Park, and zoo lights at Reed Park Zoo starts tomorrow night.
Yes, Zoo Lights is back. That's always a fun thing. I've done that one or two times as well. I have not gone down to Holiday Ice because I had a bad experience with ice and skates when I was younger, so I try to stay away from that.
You want to elaborate?
No,
doesn't want to say.
I'm not going to elaborate because I don't remember what happened.
Okay, so head injury.
Let's just put it that way. I don't remember what happened.
Ice is dangerous.
What about you? Are you an ice? You like to put on ice skates?
I don't think I've ever done that.
No?
I was born and raised here. I've never, I don't think, have you?
Oh, yeah. We went over to the ice country, or whatever it was called in the 80s.
Hey, there's skate country and ice country?
Well, skate country originally was, it doesn't matter. We definitely went to the place in the 80s.
Well, it was at like Speedway and Cold, the ice skating rink, like Gateway or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I never did that.
Yeah, it's hard. I think it's that thing, where if you get on skates when you're 7, 8, 9, then it becomes very comfortable. But if you put skates on for the first time when you're in your late teens or even your early 20s, or in your 50s, sure. Then the balance, the ankle balance, it just feels so much more awkward as an older person to try skating for the first time. I think then it becomes natural. If you got everybody in Canada, right, learns how to skate by the time that they're 6.
Yeah, I love watching ice skating. It's a great sport to watch, but I want nothing to do with those things on my feet.
I also have trauma, but it's from a roller skating rink.
Oh,
and it wasn't head trauma.
Okay,
but I don't. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that's for another day.
Okay.
Another day, another show.
That's for another show. All right. Get us home with the traffic there. Also, is it still raining out there, Cricket?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Be careful out there, though.
All right. From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Reported collisions 22nd Street and Alvernon, some westbound slowing, Prince Road and Flowing Wells. Wilmot and Broadway reported a collision at Broadway and Euclid and a hit and run wreck Flowing Wells north of Wetmore. And we'll probably see rain for just a little while longer. They're suggesting until about between 5:45 and 6 tonight. Mostly clear then overnight, and 42 are low. Sunny, 63 tomorrow and 52 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Ancestry.com.
What makes Ancestry DNA a great gift for the holidays?
It's literally like you're giving them something they would have no knowledge of, and that's priceless.
Show someone where they came from this holiday season with Ancestry DNA, now on sale at Ancestry.com.
If you look under the tree in our showroom at O'Reilly Chevrolet, you'll find an additional $1,000 in O'Reilly cash on any new and used models. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
They say time flies like a sparrow.
And fruit flies like a banana. We're off to a great start.
If you two don't mind, I'd like to tell our customers about something they won't do in 2024.
I'm not doing a lot of things. Like changing your socks.
Guys, I'm talking about no payments or interest for a full year on a new system.
Oh, people are going to like that. You should tell them.
As I was saying, Alaskan AC can install a brand new heating and air system and have no payments or interest for a year.
365 days. 12 months.
You'll get all the comfort, and you won't write a check for a whole year.
Ha! Ron still writes checks. He's so old, the first picture of him was an oil painting.
You guys having fun?
I never have fun. I'm having a little fun.
This is big. With approved credit, get a spanking new furnace and AC system. No payments or interest for a year.
Spanking new? Ron talks old-timey.
Schedule your appointment today, whenever you want, online at alaskanac.com.
1290 brings you the passion of football like no one else.
So it's 3rd and 19 now from the LA 31. Snap to Stafford. 7-step deep drop. Climbs the pocket. Throws a deep ball far side. Cup wide open. Caught at the 30. Running right to the 20. Back to the left 10. 5. Touchdown. How did Cooper Kupp
This
get
season,
that
1290 will bring you almost 100 NFL and college football games. It's not flexing. It's just the truth. Scoreboard 1290. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Get the backyard you've always wanted with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you're ready to dive in, then visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. Schedule now and get 3 months of full service free. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. First Choice Pools, the first and only choice.
What I was told was bone on bone. I was going to have knee replacement, and I do not like surgery.
Desperate to avoid surgery, Julie decided to check out QC Kinetics non-surgical regenerative treatments.
My daughter actually works in a Chapel Hill, North Carolina lab, and I sent her all of the information that I was given, and she's like, "Oh, Mom, this is for you. I've heard great things about this." She's like, "You need to try it before ever doing surgery."
Julie started the QC Kinetics natural biologic treatments right in the office, using her own healing properties to help restore her damaged tissue.
I know, my daughter was right. Yeah, it's nice when you've got that person you can go to who might have a little bit more information, especially on the science of it. QC Kinetics, it's life-changing.
Find out if you're a good candidate. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 520-497-4955. That's 520-497-4955. 520-497-4955.
He's kind and he's funny and he's also mustachioed. He solves all your problems by the end of every episode. TV Dad. Everyone loves TV Dad. TV Dad. Unlike your real dad, he never hollers. And he tells you how Progressive can save you lots of dollars.
Listen to your TV Dad. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary.
Why does 1290 run this town?
It's simple. 1290 is the only radio station that can bring you Thursday, Sunday, Monday Night Football, the NFL playoffs, and the Super Bowl. Scoreboard 1290.
This is the home of the Wildcats.
This is Wildcats Radio 1290. DK on the sports tip on Wildcats Radio 1290. And now, the best thing you will hear all day.
Hachi Machi!
It's time for the Wildcat Radio Replay. In case you missed this earlier in the day, we now bring you the best of 1290. It's made possible by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, we had some great guests today. We talked to Brittany Boyer, who's currently covering the Conference 4A state championship game for us up in Tempe. We'll update you on that again before we get out of here. Reggie Gary just joined us, Adrian Denny from the Roadrunners. Roadrunners have a few games going on this weekend, tonight and Saturday against San Jose, the Barracuda, with face-off tonight at 7. Our Crystal Soto will be there. She is one of the in-house arena and hosts for Roadrunners hockey. We got DJ for PJs coming up as well on Saturday. And when we talked to Crystal earlier, I asked her if she had to learn how to skate to get her gig with the Roadrunners.
Thankfully, no, but I do know how to skate. But honestly, I was like, hey, guys, viral video. I'm just saying, put me on skates. Who knows what could happen?
Crystal from 97.5 The Vibe is our guest. Okay, so let's talk about what's happening at the Roadrunners. We've got Laugh Night tonight and Anime Night tomorrow. What is that all about? What's Laugh Night? Is there going to be comedians in the house tonight?
Yeah, so last night, we hope that fans will stay for the post-game comedy show. It's going to be in the meeting rooms. Drinks will be available.
Ooh.
So, yes, it's an intense game of hockey. Maybe we'll get some good brawls tonight, but then you're going to laugh and feel better when you leave. So, yeah, that's what last night is. It's a night of comedy and hockey.
Now, are all these comedians, I see Chris Quinn, Holly Hilton, Omar Tarango, are these local comedians?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a mix of them. So there's going to be some from here in the Old Pueblo and then around Arizona. It should be a good time. I personally love when you get some of these comedians from around town because the jokes are so relatable, too. Like, they're making fun of the things that we make fun of daily.
There you go. And then Anime Night on Saturday night. I'm not really much into the anime, but what can fans expect on Saturday?
So we're encouraging fans to dress up as a favorite character. So if you have a favorite anime character you want to dress up, please do. We're going to be playing anime music throughout the entire game. And if fans want to get one of those exclusive anime-themed Roadrunner shirts, there are still ticket packages available where you can get those. And I love those exclusive shirts because those are truly like keepsakes. Not a lot of people are going to have them. So if you're a big anime fan, you definitely want to look into that to take that home. So those are the two big games.
All right, and we mentioned, obviously, Crystal, 97.5, The Vibe. You're also going to be out at DJs for PJs early in the day. So you got a long day tomorrow because you're going to be working both day and night.
I do, yeah. I actually have a super busy day tomorrow, which I love, though. The DJs for PJs, super excited about. And I want to plant a seed if I can. On the 16th is our teddy bear toss game with the Roadrunners. That's presented by TEP. It's literally one of the most fun nights of the year.
Yes.
I am a costume lover, so I will be in costume that night. Please show up, bring a teddy bear, and that again is December 16th. It's one of the most fun nights we have on the ice.
Okay, yeah, that's Roadrunners again. We've got DJ PJs. What time are you going to be performing? Can people hear you spinning down there tomorrow?
Yeah, so I will be there starting at 12 o'clock until 2 o'clock, but with the whole Vibe crew there, we'll probably be there the entire day.
And then don't forget, again, you can find her at Arizona Women's Basketball. We've got a game coming up next Thursday, I believe. UC San Diego is here. As the ladies are finally back home.
So excited to have them back, and what an exciting season it's been. I mean, so many key players on that team that I am just loving watching. Jada has been amazing. Of course, Helena Puello, one of my favorites. So, yes, always into these sporting events. You can catch me, whether it's on the ice, on the court, hoping to make your experience that much more fun.
And if you missed her over the summer, you were at the Sugar Skulls, too.
I'll be back in the Sugar Skulls when arena football starts up again. I don't know if you've been watching, but they're making some changes. We've got a new head coach, different people on the team. We've got some re-signs. So it's going to be an exciting season.
Yeah, we had the new head coach on about a month ago. Sounds like he's got this thing rolling. We'll see if finally we can get a championship here to Tucson. Hey, Krista, we appreciate you taking a few minutes to join us. We'll have you on again once we get closer to the teddy bear toss here in a couple weeks.
That sounds awesome. Thank you guys again. I appreciate it. And to everybody, I will see you guys as we cheer on all of our Tucson sports teams.
That was the Wildcat Radio Replay with the best of the best from 1290. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, our thanks to Crystal Soto from 97.5 The Vibe, being a great guest today, telling you about everything that is happening this weekend here in Tucson.
When does she sleep?
I don't know.
It seems to me like she's just always on the go.
Always. I mean, geez. I mean, like Roadrunners, women's basketball, DJs for PJs, working here. I mean, she's got a lot happening. Better to be busy than bored, I would imagine,
True.
right?
Very true.
So I got the question of the day up finally. I hadn't sent it. I'd written it and typed it out in the other room and just had not sent it. But I sent it, and then we've got immediate reaction to this one.
My guess was 85%.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you how close you are to that.
Okay.
Here is the question of the day is: would you welcome an athlete who graduated from the U of A, degree completed, but opted to grad transfer and play a final eligible season for the ASU Sun Devils? Would you welcome back that athlete into the family? The answers are yes, Wildcat for life. No, that's high treason. Right now, what did you say, J-Dub? You said how many?
I think 85%.
85%, J-Dub says. Right now, 93% of the people are saying no, that's high treason. And the reason that the way I put this question out there was because there are two players that played at ASU football that are in the transfer portal that I definitely would not mind having on the Arizona Wildcats roster. Jalen Conyers, their outstanding tight end, and Jordan Clark, their outstanding defensive back. I would take both of those guys in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I'll reiterate what I said the first segment. I think it matters where your heart is today, not where it was 2 years ago, 5 years from now, or whatever. So if you come with the convicted attitude of, giving your all and bearing down in the case of coming here to Tucson, I'm not going to speak for anybody, but personally, it doesn't matter to me. Now, if you were on a school up north team and did some horribly offensive things towards the Arizona Wildcats while you were there, then my guess is that will never happen. We're talking about a situation, a hypothetical, but I doubt that anybody who had true animosity from that side down towards this side would make that choice, right? So let me preface that by saying that if you are I don't think Richard Dice, for instance, is going to have any of his, relatives go play for that school up north anytime soon. Kelvin, there's certain people I just don't think that you could cross that bridge. But if you're just a person who's not getting enough playing time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or maybe there's a coaching change and you didn't sign up for that coaching staff, like the situation up there. I don't have a problem. I care about where your focus is today.
Doug in Tucson checks in on Twitter X. And he says that, so he chimes in with the emoji circle of trust with at the bottom it says, "You're out." And he says, same goes for guys who wind up coaching at ASU. Guys like Antonio Pierce, Bobby Wade. I just can't feel the same bear down love for anybody who makes it their job to beat Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, I get,
and that's kind of what Brittany said. Brittany, who's covering the game for us, the 4A championship. She's an ASU grad, and I kind of asked her the question, and she said, there are going to be people that it's just too much. It's just the hatred runs too deep, and I can't. Again, it's kind of like in professional sports. You hate on this guy, you hate him, and then 5 years down the line, he signs with your team as a free agent. I'm trying to remember if there was a guy. Well, it was like David Justice for me. Like
right.
David Justice was with the Braves all those years.
Sure.
They beat the Indians in the World Series, and then 3 years later, David Justice was playing for us. It's kind of like, well, now he's our guy.
Let me put it this way: if you had asked me that question in 1986, I would have said, heck no. Because I really cared about Steve Kerr and like the things that they did when he first went up there. That was a problem for me. But with time comes wisdom, DK. And at my stage of my life I am now, I think it's not monolithic. It's not a matter of black and white. There's always gray areas and there's always nuance. involved in these kind of conversations. So again, if you are like an adamant anti-Wildcat person from that other fan base or that other, sports, you play for sports for them, then that's a different story altogether. But if it's just a matter of playing time, come on board. I just care about what you want to do this year.
Somebody, and again, and I'll go back to just my existence of sportsdom. I grew up loving UCLA. When I was, I moved to Los Angeles when I was in first grade, and all the kids in school I hung out with were UCLA kids. So I grew up loving UCLA, but then I ended up going to USC. So I kind of had to turn that off once I decided that I was going to be a Trojan and not a Bruin. And so it happens in life sometimes. Sometimes you grow up one way and you make another decision and you go another way. And people have always asked me, well, as a broadcaster, it's like, well, if you ever had a chance to get the play-by-play job at UCLA, would you take it? And my answer was always, hell yeah, I would take it. I mean, there are only so many of those jobs.
The only constant is change.
Yeah, I would take it if they offered it to me.
The only constant is change, David Kelly. So some weeks we do radio shows in the afternoon, and then other weeks we don't. It's just about change.
And we won't be doing any on Monday.
Nope.
Or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday of next week. We are taking a week off, in case you did not know that. But we will be with you tomorrow for the Meridian Wealth Management basketball show. An entire day of basketball on Wildcats Radio 1290 on Saturday. Join us at 9 a.m. That's going to wrap it up for this week and today. Thanks to Cricket. Thanks to J-Dub. Thanks to Brittany, Adrian, and Reggie, and Crystal, and most of all, thanks to you for listening. I'm David Kelly. Have a great weekend, everybody. DK on the sports tip. Bear down, Arizona. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With collisions reported, Prince Road and Romero, Campbell and Drexel, Valencia and Camino de Oeste. Crash occurred on Old Spanish Trail right between Harrison and 22nd Street. La Cholla north of Ruth Ruff, Flowing Wells and Prince, and a hit-and-run wreck on Flowing Wells to the north of Wetmore. Do have a small chance of showers, probably up until about 6 or so tonight. Mostly clear, 42 our overnight low. Sunny, 63 tomorrow, and partly cloudy, 53 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Save big during Lowe's 25 days of deals. Right now, get up to 50% off select artificial Christmas trees, holiday lights, and more. Lowe's knows deals every day. Valid through 12/6 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
We get you so close to McHale, it sounds like the Arizona Pep Band is riding in your back seat.
What the hell is going on?
This is the home of Arizona men's basketball. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Looking to switch your phone service? Check out Boost Infinite Wireless. Its new technology switches between its own network and the other top 2 networks to find the best quality calls and data for you anywhere, anytime. And you can get a low-priced, unlimited wireless plan that gives you a new iPhone every year. So switch today. Call 855-55-BOOST. That's 1-855-55-BOOST. Visit boostinfinite.com. That's boostinfinite.com. Or go to amazon.com and search for Boost iPhone 15. See boostinfinite.com for terms and conditions.
Dell's Cyber Monday event is their biggest sale of the year. Shop limited time deals on laptops like the stylish, innovative XPS 13, engineered to do it all on the Intel Evo platform. Plus, save big on ultra-sharp monitors and top brand accessories. It's the perfect time to upgrade any home, business, or gaming setup powered by Intel Core processors. Shop now at Dell.com/deals to take advantage of huge savings and free shipping. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
At Nova Home Loans, we believe everyone deserves the opportunity to enjoy the independence that comes with home ownership. Whether you're a first-time home buyer who needs down payment assistance, have less than perfect credit, or looking to refinance, Nova has a variety of home loan programs for your unique situation. Visit NovaHomeLoans.com or call 800-955-9125 to learn more. Not a commitment to lend or extend credit. Rates and available loan programs are subject to change without notice. NMLS 3087, BK 0902429, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Ryder works on top of the world, but his roofing business has hit new lows. Because when people search for roofer near me, Ryder's Roofing doesn't appear on the map, which means Ryder's Roofing is not on the map.
Cumulus Boost can help by managing Ryder's online listings, reviews, and dozens of other ways search engines determine which businesses get on the map. Cumulus Boost helps make sure Ryder gets the click. Visit cumulusboost.com to get on the map today. CUMULUS Boost.com. Cumulus Boost. Get on the map.
Attention Tucson! We bring you every minute of Arizona men's basketball, both home and away, all season long. We are the home of the Arizona Wildcats. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona football, along with Arizona football play-by-play. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist and ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Why does 1290 run this town?
It's simple. 1290 is the only radio station that brings you the Jed Fish and Tommy Lloyd radio shows. Scoreboard 1290.
This is the home of the Wildcats.
This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
You're listening to CBS Sports Radio.
All right, Jordan Mack here with you on CBS Sports Radio. 2 hours in the books, 2 left to play. One quick note before I punch up my next gas and go deep diving into the Eagles and the 49ers. At the top of the show, I mentioned some good sports activity on TV tonight. The biggest is Washington against Oregon for the Pac-12 championship. There's a good college basketball game on about an hour from now. Kansas against UConn. But also NBA action. If your team's playing locally and you're watching it there, like Hickey Diane watching the Knicks in the studio tonight, good on him. The national game is Sixers-Celtics. The top team in the East right now, Boston, and Philadelphia, I think, is currently 4th in the Eastern Conference. Game started, and I didn't even notice it. I'm dedicated to you guys. I had ESPN on. I watched the silly pregame stuff. I didn't listen to any of it, but Kendrick Perkins, I don't know what they see in him. They think he's all-knowing, all-seeing about the NBA. I'm not sure I get that. But anyway, the game started, and I looked up. Oh, my man, I hadn't even noticed that it started. Then I noticed the Sixers starting lineup. Here's who started for the Sixers tonight. Tobias Harris at the small forward. Okay, fine. Marcus Morris, who they got in the Harden trade. He had a good game the other night, was draining threes all over the place. All right, giving a spot start. All right, that's cool. Paul Reed, B-ball Paul at center. for the 76ers tonight. Knew there was a possibility that Embiid might not play. He was supposedly ill. He tried to work out this morning, a little bit of a walkthrough, didn't make it, didn't look good. He's not playing. Pat Beverly, their usual energy off the bench defensive guy. I guess the coach felt he needed defense from the start. And DeAndre Melton, who usually starts at the other guard position. So no Joel Embiid, no Tyrese Maxey. What the hell? I didn't hear that Maxey might miss tonight's game. Damn good thing I didn't bet on this one. The line might have gone through the roof right before. No Maxey, no Embiid, and Nicholas Batum, who has been starting for him and playing well, is also on the bench tonight. I don't know what the hell's going on. All I know is they're down 4 points to the Celtics with 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. I'll keep a half an eye on that one for you. All right, big game on Sunday. The NFL game of the year. And I don't have a problem saying that. People say, well, it's only going to change next week. Yeah, it is, probably. But so what? After the first week of the season, I remember being on with my boy, Zach Gelb, and I forget what was the best game week one, but I said, that's the NFL game of the season. Yeah, and it changes week to week. Some weeks there's no really good game, and there was a good previous game. I would not say we've had 12 biggest games of the season so far, but we've probably had 4 or 5 or 6. It will be usurped by the 49ers and the Eagles this Sunday in Philadelphia. Here to give us a 49er perspective is a guy who covers them day in and day out for the Bay Area News and also does some hosting on KNBR out there in San Fran. Dieter Kurtenbach, good enough to join me on CBS Sports Radio. Am I overstating the importance of the game between the 49ers and the Eagles on Sunday, Dieter?
Oh, absolutely. We all are. We're all amped up for this thing, and the notion that this is probably going to be the game of the year. I mean, we'll find out, but this is a game I could tell you first and foremost that any 49ers fan, they circled first when they saw the schedule come out in May. They said, okay, I know exactly what I'm doing on December 3rd. And, credit to both of these teams. They've come through and turn this thing into a NFC championship game before the NFC championship game. So every reason to be amped, and we'll see if these teams can deliver on the promise that is two great teams battling in possibly mucky weather and nastiness. And, it could be great. It could be great. We'll find out.
Before we get into the matchup of Eagles versus Niners and strengths and weaknesses and everything else, let me ask you a very Niners-specific question. First 5 games of the year, best team in the National Football League, San Francisco 49ers. Not only were they 5-0, they did so in very impressive fashion. Last 3 weeks of the season, if you just isolate those 3 weeks, the most impressive team in the National Football League could be, and I would personally pick, the San Francisco 49ers. So 8 of the 11 weeks in the year, they've been the best team in the National Football League for my money. What the hell happened during a 3-game losing streak?
When you don't have Deebo Samuel and you don't have Trent Williams, your offense doesn't have its full capacity. And what happened was they basically became like every other team in the NFL. And they said, hey, quarterback, go win us the game. And Brock Purdy is a wonderful quarterback. I don't want to take anything away from Brock Purdy. He is the best quarterback Kyle Shanahan has had in San Francisco, and I don't even think it's particularly close. He's the offensive coordinator on the field. He's making big-time throws. But when the game was on the 23-year-old shoulders, he wasn't exactly the guy. He wasn't Patrick Mahomes, let's put it that way. He wasn't Josh Allen, let's put it that way. He wasn't even Jalen Hurts. And a couple of things didn't break the 49ers' way. They were probably pretty tired, all this jazz. But ultimately, their team looked pretty mortal when you don't have the best left tackle in football, when you don't have your do-it-all offensive threat. Teams were really able to key in on a guy like Brandon Ayuk, key in on a guy as much as you can, like Christian McCaffrey, and really key in on, making Brock Purdy look relatively mortal. Now, suddenly you get back the best left tackle in football, and you get back Deebo Samuel, who Kyle Shanahan loves to give the ball to, and Brock Purdy looks like an MVP candidate. So, listen, you want to claim system quarterback, product of circumstance? Absolutely. Probably every quarterback in the league is that exact same thing. I don't know if Patrick Mahomes goes to Carolina right now and everything's A-okay. Maybe, but maybe not. I know Brock Purdy's probably not the guy to save him either. And, Jalen Hurts, product of the system. Everybody's a product of the system. The quarterback is the system. And for a couple weeks there, Brock Purdy had the entire world put on his shoulders.
All right, time out. San Francisco. I'm going to make a case for Brock Purdy, okay?
Wonderful.
Against Cleveland. Did he not march him down the field in the last 2 minutes and put him in a position to kick a gimme field goal, and a rookie field goal kicker pushed it wide right?
Yeah, but the reason that game was even close is because Brock Purdy threw for less than 50% in that game. I mean, he was pretty trash in that game. He did come through. He came through. He was clutching that spot. The kicker wasn't. You can make the case that he set him up to win. The only reason that game was in that position is because Brock Purdy was real bad before everything that happened in the final 2 minutes or so of the game. And he threw a bad interception against Minnesota. It was not a great run there for Brock Purdy, but ultimately, they came through it. Good teams figure it out. And I think the Eagles are in kind of a similar situation this week. They won last week, 92 defensive snaps. They had to fight through crap all year. They're a great team. They figure stuff out. I think you got two teams. I don't know if they're at the peak of their powers, but for Week 13, again, we got it pretty good here.
All right, and you're right, Purdy didn't do much leading up to that final drive, and the next week against Minnesota, he was pretty putrid.
Yeah.
But in that stretch, McCaffrey against Cleveland, 43 yards. Against Minnesota,
he was banged up, too. It was tough.
45 yards.
Yep.
And against Cincinnati, Purdy, the leading rusher, with 57 yards and threw for 365. What the hell happened to the defense? Cincinnati, whether Burrow's hobbled or healthy or whatever, they haven't. Now that he's not playing, they got no chance on offense. But their offense has been nothing special all year. And that vaunted San Francisco defense let them go up and down the field for 31 points.
It was incredible. Joe Burrow, it's one of the finest quarterback performances I've seen in person in all my years covering the NFL. He took the Niners behind the woodshed. And that's a game that I think a lot of teams are putting in first when they get San Francisco on their schedule. They're saying, what the hell does Joe Burrow do? Not that we can replicate that because Joe Burrow's damn good, but we got to figure that out and try to do it. The biggest thing for the 49ers that they've had to do this season is that they've had to figure out how to adapt to new defensive coordinator Steve Wilks, right? They had DeMeco Ryans. We see what DeMeco Ryans is doing in Houston. Hell of a coach there. They had Robert Saleh. I don't know if he's a hell of a coach, but he's got a hell of a defense with the New York Jets. Those were their last two defensive coordinators. They built up something really special in San Francisco. And then Steve Wilks comes in from the outside, right? DeMeco Ryans was an inside hire. He was a positions coach for Robert Saleh. It was an easy transition. They bring in Steve Wilks from the outside, and he goes, well, I got my own ideas on how to play defense. This team seems to already know how it wants to play defense. And the two weren't meshing very well, even at the beginning of the season. It just wasn't terribly noticeable. Once they came back from the bye, because Cincinnati put them in the bye in a very bad state of affairs, once they came back from the bye, Steve Wilks came out of the booth, was on the sidelines, giving his guys a little bit more juice. They started to buy in a little bit more to the cover two that Steve Wilks wants to play, but he also gave some more freedom to some of the other players like Fred Warner. They got back, and then to get Chase Young, that matters a lot. Now the defensive line has some life to it again, and they did some really nice moves, moving some guys around the secondary. It does seem as if the 49ers have finally figured out, hey, this is how we play for Steve Wilks, and Steve Wilks has figured out, hey, this is how I best utilize the personnel that was built for teams in the past to fit my defense. So I think they got to feel pretty confident defensively coming into this game. But, yeah, you're right. They sucked against the Bengals.
Yeah,
they were brutal against the Bengals.
That one wasn't on Purdy's plate. All right. Interesting point you made about them going outside the organization to replace their latest defensive coordinator, got a head coaching job. How did that process go? Was that a Lynch hire? Was that a Shanahan hire? Combination because they had success elevating DeMeco Ryan. Was there no other positional coach that they felt could be good enough to be a coordinator? How did that process go?
I mean, that's the truth. They didn't have an obvious in-house candidate. When Robert Saleh left, it took 20 seconds for them to go, okay, DeMeco, you're the guy. Because they saw that in him when he was hired, and they wanted to make it a priority because otherwise Robert Saleh was going to take him. But when you lose your defensive coordinator a couple of years ago, and he takes a bunch of coaches, and now you lose DeMeco Ryans, and he's taken a bunch of coaches, but you don't have anyone who obviously can replace him. Now you have to go and look in the marketplace. Now, Raheem Morris would have been Kyle Shanahan's number one pick, but Raheem Morris got poached by his man down in L.A. a year ago. So that you can't go get Raheem Morris. You can't really go get any of the guys that you used to work with in all of your years, the Garrett Kubiak offense. There was no obvious pick. And so you just have to say, well, who are the best guys out there? And Steve Wilkes had done a pretty good job in Carolina and been head coach before, knew the division. And they go, well, Steve Wilkes is a very accomplished guy. Let's bring him in because I don't think we can do any better than this. And it turns out that they probably couldn't, but it wasn't an immediate fit. It wasn't obvious. They liked Steve, and I don't think they were ever on the verge of firing him or anything because, again, there was no one obvious to replace him on this roster even currently. But, man, it has taken a minute for these two to all get along, and it might even take more than that. There might be hiccups yet to come just because, again, outside the system, he wants to probably play something much different than what the Niners played. But these guys are in a marriage of convenience right now, and it's worked out pretty okay, all things considered.
All right, Dieter, if I read you after last year's championship game, I've forgotten, so I'm going to have to ask you to be honest with me. When the Eagles beat the 49ers and Brock Purdy got hurt and Josh Johnson comes into the game, first things first, shame on Shanahan for having him as the backup quarterback. And I know Garoppolo got hurt.
Fifth option. I mean, Brock Purdy was supposed to be
I would have gone to option
guy.
4. I would have gone to option 4, which is Dieter Kurtenbach. I would have chosen you over Josh. But that's
well,
just
we were
me.
wondering who in the press box was next because I
I
was angry they didn't run the option. They would have been better off with like Kyle Juszczyk, the fullback, running the option with Josh Johnson out there. But yeah, you're right.
I would have gone with you. As it's the NFC Championship game, and you're going in, and there's always the possibility, and you've got a guy who's been on every other team in the National Football League. So, and he wasn't going to win the game. They weren't going to win the game. The game was over when they figured that Purdy couldn't throw the football anymore. Were you one of those who said the 49ers would have won the game if Purdy played?
No. I mean, going into that game, I couldn't have told you who was going to win. There was so little between them. And honestly, the difference in the game was going to be if Brock Purdy could rise to the moment or not. We got to remember his playoff history, which he doesn't have a lot of history in any regard. Kid just came into the league. It was all magic. Everything made no damn sense. And then he comes into the playoffs and he gets the Seattle Seahawks, a divisional opponent who kind of had his number a little bit earlier in the year, and he just rips them apart. I mean, tender chicken off the bone. But then he has kind of a down game against Dallas in the divisional round, and you wonder if maybe some of the magic pixie dust had fallen off. So you didn't really know what you were getting from Brock Purdy in that game. Ultimately, he's in there for 6 plays. Doesn't have, he's like Drew Brees today. He can't throw with his right arm. And it's such a hot mess. It's a waste of time for everybody involved because you're playing 10 on 11, and you're lucky if you're actually getting that because everyone knows what the damn play is. It's going to be handed off. So it's a lot of sour grapes from the 49ers after that. They can do that because it's all in the world of hypotheticals. Oh, well, if we had a quarterback, it's not very becoming for them to be saying that they were robbed. It's not for them. It's very becoming, but they were very confident going into that game. They felt they had a game plan that was really good. They were talking a lot of trash before that game in a way that I had not heard them talking a lot of trash before other games. They were convinced in their minds that they were going to win. The football gods had different ideas. And so the sour grapes came out, and it wasn't that good of a brew. Now they get to go in and put up or shut up. And I don't think Philadelphia has that same sort of extra energy, extra juice for this game. They want that 1 seed, but also they got a lot of stuff going on. They just played a tough game against Buffalo. They got Dallas next week. Yeah, they're at home, but weather's going to be coming. They can write this one off if they lose, and that'll be fine. If they lose on Sunday and the Eagles want to say, nah, no big deal, they can say that. If the 49ers lose on Sunday, after all that, after all they put on to everybody's tape recorder, after all the headlines, after all the smack talk, and saying that they were robbed by the football gods, had something stolen from them, if they go into Philadelphia and they get, let's call it like it is, a tired Eagles team, and you're getting them in a great spot, and they go out and they lose. They get their butt kicked, and they are clearly the second best team in the NFC at best. Oh, boy, that's got to be a confidence downer. because they believed that they were going to win. I didn't think that was a guarantee. I thought the Philadelphia Eagles were the favorites for a reason in that game, and that they had every reason to win that game. The circumstances didn't give us a true outcome in many regards, but that's not to say the Niners would have won. They better follow through. They better follow through on the promise in Week 13, and we'll figure it out if these two teams meet again in the rubber match. But, boy, they better win. They better win on Sunday. They talk way too much smack to lose.
And my opinion has not changed in the 11 months since that game was played. If they had just asked Vanna White if they could have had a different consonant, I would have been okay with it. If they had said, we could have won the game with Brock Purdy, you're right. You could have won the game with Brock Purdy. We would have won the game with Brock Purdy is disrespectful. They disrespected the Eagles when they said that. And that, listening to some Eagles, seeing some Eagle quotes, seeing guys talking to the camera, I'm not going to say to a man, but there are some guys on this team that will be uber motivated going out there onto the field because they've been disrespected. James Bradbury being called trash by Deebo Samuel being one of them. But a couple other Eagles also have a little bit of a smarting that they'll add a little to their giddy up on Sunday, which is going to help make it great. All right. The way the game plays out, I think it's going to be high scoring. These are two of the better defenses in the National Football League, but right now I think Jalen Hurts is on fire. I think Purdy is phenomenal. I think both of these quarterbacks are going to put on a show. Agree or disagree?
I'm concerned about the weather. Sounds like it could be pretty mucky, pretty nasty.
Yeah, it was mucky last week in Philadelphia, and the Eagles put up a 37 spot.
That's fair. I'll give you that. The Niners do not do well in the rain. Get this, a bunch of boys from California, not too keen on the weather being nasty. So we'll see if that holds up in this game or not. We'll see if the weather report comes true or not. We know the Eagles can do it, man. They're built for it. But the 49ers, they might not be they might melt in the rain a little bit. They might be made of salt. Who's to say? We'll find out. At the same time, I agree with you. These offenses are clicking. They're really firing. I'm fascinated to see how this game plays out in the trenches. And not just the tush-push stuff, which I could talk about for 5 hours and literally have this week. I'm talking about the 49ers defensive line is starting to get a little bit of juice. And for years, we've thought the 49ers defensive line, that's as good as it gets. The Eagles defensive line isn't the same it was last year. That was the best defensive line in football last year. They had 15 sacks, more than anybody. They have not gotten to that same level this year. They're pretty tired, but they got some dudes on that defensive line. So I got to question the 49ers offensive line, which is kind of soft in the middle, and I'm being generous there, versus the big Georgia Bulldogs in the middle of that Eagles defensive line, and then flip it the other way. The Niners have this great defensive line. It's firing off cylinders, dudes on dudes on dudes. Well, how does that match up with the unquestioned greatness of the Eagles' offensive line? It doesn't matter if it's raining, snowing, sleeting, hailing, or if it's 72 degrees and sunny and somehow the Link gets a dome between now and Sunday. The game's going to be won in the trenches, and we got some great trench matchups. It's some beautiful December football. I'm fascinated to see if the Niners can rise to the occasion, because if they can win in the trenches, both on offense and on defense, I love their talent on the outside. As good as Philadelphia is, I feel like the Niners are more equipped to win, so long as they can control the line of scrimmage, and that is a big if.
All right, you got to answer one last question for me. It's a player-specific question. I'm a Philly guy. I see all the press conferences. When I get there, I do.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is amazing. If you watched the game last week when Jake Elliott's lining up for a 59-yard field goal that could send the game to overtime, they go with a shot on Hurts on the bench. Looks like he's ready to fall asleep. He shows no emotion. He is so narrow-focused and on top of things. No fist pumps, not even a wink to a teammate. He is just staring straight ahead, all business. I know him. I don't know Purdy as well.
Yeah.
I defend Brock a lot because I hear guys go, well, he's a system quarterback. Shanahan's system is that good. That's what makes Purdy as good, because he's a system quarterback, or he's a game manager.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I think he's better than that. The results say he's better than that.
Oh, yeah.
When he hears those comments, and I'm sure he has because a lot of people have made him system quarterback or game manager, how does he respond either outwardly or inwardly?
I mean, that's fuel for the fire. This is a very hot furnace that you got with Brock Purdy. And you see it boil over in games. It's two different dudes. There's a Monday through Saturday Brock Purdy, and the Monday through Saturday Brock Purdy is the nicest, most humble dude you can imagine. Kind of stays out. You would never know he's an NFL quarterback, but he is studious. He's on top of it. He's willing to yap at his teammates a little bit. He is, you want to talk about all business in the same way Jalen Hurts, Monday through Saturday, Brock Purdy is not messing around. Because he doesn't have the physical talent of a Jalen Hurts or some of these great quarterbacks. He better have his game plan down pat. If you want to say he's a system quarterback or a game manager, in a lot of ways he'll say, blank you. But in a lot of ways it's also true. He knows that if he doesn't have that system down pat, if he is not the perfect avatar for Kyle Shanahan on the field, he's going to get got. He's going to have a problem. He's not built like the rest of them. So he puts in that extra work. He goes the mile and a half beyond so that he is in full control of everything Kyle's throwing at him. And that's not an easy job, man. You want to come be a system quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. Many have tried and many have failed. No one's done it better than this dude. So what does that say about the rest of them? Jimmy Garoppolo went to a Super Bowl. Kyle Shanahan never had as much faith in him, one time the highest paid player in the NFL, as he does in the kid who they took last in the NFL draft a couple of years ago and is the cheapest quarterback in the NFL. You can figure out how guys feel about their quarterbacks, head coaches, play callers feel about their quarterbacks by how they use them, and he lets Brock rip it. And on Sunday, man, he just goes to the wall. He is big personality, this and that. He lets out all that rage that he pented up from Monday to Saturday. This dude, there's one word to describe him. He's a killer, an assassin. He's out there for blood on Sundays. Monday through Saturday, all business, all personnel, all just working every margin he can, keeping guys in line. But he's a killer, man. Do not underestimate him. Everyone has. Not working out so great for them.
Understood. Dieter, great stuff. Should be a phenomenal game on Sunday. Enjoy. Thanks for jumping in with us tonight.
Man, thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Dieter Kurtenbach from the Bay Area News and also does some fill-in stuff on KNBR. I'm a Purdy guy. I really was getting annoyed last year when people were saying he's Mr. Irrelevant, and if it wasn't for Kyle Shanahan, I'm going, are you watching any of their games? Are you seeing what he's doing? I'm a fan. I bet him at 50-1 to win the MVP this year in August when I found out he was going to make the start of the season. I love the talent, but they were talking about him not being back from his injury till October, maybe November. And then all of a sudden he's starting opening week. He's playing in the preseason. I watched him play in preseason. I said, all right, he's got my cash. I'm going to put some money on him at 50-1 to win the MVP. So I'm a fan. The MVP in the NFL right now is Jalen Hurts. So he's going to have to outdo the guy who's got the lead. Should be a really good game on Sunday. And I'll be watching the second of it, half of it, right here with you when I'm on with Zach Gelb on Eye on Football. I'm going to have to tear myself away from the television. I'm going back to the phones. No tearing involved. I'll just punch you up. If you get on with me right here, right now, 855-212-4227. Jody Mack, Friday night, get together on CBS Sports Radio.
Your brain is an amazing thing. But as you get older, it naturally begins to change, causing a lack of sharpness or even trouble with recall. Thankfully, the breakthrough in Prevagen helps your brain and actually improves memory. The secret is an ingredient originally discovered in jellyfish. Based on a clinical study of subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired, Prevagen has been shown to improve memory. A Pharmacy Times national survey of pharmacists rated Prevagen the #1 pharmacist-recommended memory support brand for the 5th year in a row. You can find it in the vitamin aisle in stores everywhere without a prescription. Help your memory. Try Prevagen today. Prevagen. Healthier brain, better life. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Did you know that 1 in 4 car batteries is weak and needs to be replaced? O'Reilly Auto Parts will test your battery free of charge. If your battery needs to be replaced, their professional parts people can help you find the best Superstar battery for your vehicle and budget. Make sure your vehicle is ready for the weather ahead by getting your battery tested for free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Could you please pass the potatoes?
Uncle Bob, why are you singing?
With all the rewards we are getting, with the Navy Federal Credit Union's cash rewards card, I hired a singing coach for caroling.
But it's summer.
Since we get up to 1.75% cash back on all our holiday purchases, there is cheer to last all year.
Please stop.
These potatoes are delicious, by the way.
Get cheer to last all year with Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA.
The very best in play-by-play is on Tucson's best sports station, Wildcats Radio 1290. This is the home of the Wildcats and NFL play-by-play. This is the one and only Wildcats Radio 1290.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-777-1225. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-777-1225. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225 or biglou.com.
Wildcats fans from coast to coast can bring a little bit of Tucson to themselves wherever they happen to be by streaming 1290 on our website at wildcatsradio1290.com. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Being struck by a drunk driver, a collision with an 18-wheeler, were a victim of workplace negligence or more. Get the financial compensation you deserve. Call Allied Injury Group for a free consultation now.
Call 800-781-1815. That's 800-781-1815. Again, 800-781-1815.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information.